Press go live. Oh, there we go. I see it.
Yes. The baby face that makes them like Hulk Hogan money. I'm sorry, Terry money can't be given him by his. He don't get that name no more. He's Terry.
Oh, we gonna call him Terrence. We gonna call him Terrence.
Terrence from Florida. Hope every soda Terrence drinks is flat.
That's the type of energy we want for Terrence right there.
I compared it to the Mega Powers. Paul Heyman's was Miss Elizabeth. You had Macho Man on one of the other side. You had Terrence on the other side. They had their 3-ring triangle where they're in the middle, and this is what happened. Tell me if I'm not lying. Tell me I'm not lying.
Listen,
can we get a round of applause in the live chat for Miss Chrissy Love? Nick Jackson says you got lust in the eyes, Terrence. Does Pat get a plate at the cookout?
He might, but he need to make sure he ain't been hanging out with his little no shoes wearing friend. Otherwise, he gonna have to be giving me some PCR tests. Because I don't want to see him after he's been hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. And I'll be triple masked. I'll slide him a plate and be like, brother, once you and that friend, who all gonna be there? Who all gonna be in that car? It's like Sure Jan. Like
right, Sure Jan. Yup. Man, I love this guy.
The Rumble stuff, does that make you think just a tiny bit Mickey could win?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Just
no, not at all. We will be calling him Terrence from Florida from now on, and it's all due to you, Rich. Please. He waited for it.
That's awesome.
Yo, why did you put?
Oh my God, Rich! Please let the people know where they can hear some of this great insight. All that greatness from last week, Tru Heel Heat 157. Shout outs to Rich Fan for a great episode. We're back at it this week talking about the latest wrestling news, including MLW suing WWE. WWE wanting an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant in the Men's Royal Rumble the week that was, with Dynamite, Hard to Kill, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and much more. We have a special guest returning to us on this edition of Tru Heel Heat. So, producer, let's hit the intro. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for Tru Heel Heat 158, Once Forbidden, No More, where we're going to be talking about the latest wrestling news, including Major League Wrestling, MLW suing WWE, WWE planning for an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant in the Men's Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber coming to Saudi Arabia under a new name, apparently. Recap of Impact Hard to Kill with Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo in the main event. Rampage, SmackDown, Dynamite, Battle of the Belts, NXT, Raw, Impact on Access TV, and more. Returns of Jon Moxley, Sasha Banks, and Bayley reportedly revealed, plus much more. And we have a special guest here with us, returning to us once again. Like I said, the first time he was on Tru Heel Heat, honestly, one of the smartest, most insightful guys when it comes to professional wrestling and professional wrestling media out there. A great interviewer who has interviewed tremendous stars. And check out Chris Hero. Chris Hero will give you the stamp of approval for this man right here. He is from Post Wrestling. Andrew Thompson, what's going on, brother?
It's good. It's good to see you again, man. As always, you know we chat quite often from time to time in the old NWA group chat, but it's good to see you in person, man. I hope all is well.
And just for you, apparently we have a special guest with us, a special surprise guest popping in. I guess he saw Andrew Thompson was on the show and he remembered how much he popped you with his Booker T rant. Yes, it is the man of 1,001 candles, Top Guy JJ.
Yes.
What it do, fellas? What it do?
What's good,
oh
JJ?
my
How
God.
you feeling, man?
I figured, I'm like, shit, my travels have been great. I'm actually quite early. So I was like, you know what? Let me get on here before I start my life, because, this has been my world for the past couple months. Wanted to say what's up to the gang. Where Chrissy at?
Chrissy's on vacation. She went on vacation. So the week you decide to pop in and surprise us at work
She goes on more boondoggles than me. And I haven't been on the show for 2 fucking months.
You haven't.
Hey, JJ. So
Drew, what's up, brother?
Man, what's going on? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. It's good to see you too.
Real quick, I know last time we talked, we was doing an old Booker T rant. Did you get a chance to see what Booker said about Corey Graves?
Oh Lord, no.
What did he say?
So fellas, I've been out of the loop for a little bit. So everything is gonna be a completely raw reaction for me. So I have no agenda, no insights, nothing going on right now. What's up?
So it's a long quote. So I'm gonna just give y'all like the simple.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep it kosher and try to keep it professional, but I am in a work environment, so I'm gonna try my hardest. But go ahead.
So Booker, I'm pretty. I don't know if you had a chance to see yet, but it was first reported by fight with Sean Ross Sapp that Corey Graves, he was moved off the no contact list, and I think that led to the natural assumption that he'll eventually try to make his in-ring return, and then Carmella sent out a tweet, sort of referencing a like a mixed tag type thing. But Booker T had commented on it, and one of the quotes he said was, "My advice for Corey Graves is to sit at that commentary table." And he was like, I don't know what he was like, I don't know what the hell Corey Graves is thinking. He said Corey Graves ain't whooped nobody ass in like 7 years, and you expect me to believe that he's supposed to jump in there and just start whooping on everybody. And then he also praised Corey as a commentator. He wasn't like ragging on him the whole time, but he was going in on Corey. He was just like he doesn't think that Corey Graves should take this risk because of what could happen injury wise. And he was like saying he's a great commentator and all this stuff. He was just like, Corey Graves needs to sit at that commentary table. And I got something else to tell you that he said, but I'm gonna let you process that first, because I think the next one, I think the next thing will set you off even more. So
wait. So I'm just trying to. What did Corey Graves do to Booker?
I mean, they used to do commentary together. I know,
but what did he say something to set him off?
I do remember a few times that Booker, if you go in on like their social media pages that have Booker's reaction to that commentary, and sometimes Corey would say some stuff and Booker would just look at him like, I'm gonna beat your ass, like that, one of those type of looks. So maybe he still got. And I remember there was the whole thing when something about Starbucks between them. I don't know.
That was a word, bro. That was a word.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, here you go. I pulled up the quote. He said, "Let's start our news rundown with something like Corey Graves. What the hell is he thinking? Let's start right there." And then it was later on in the conversation. He said, wait a minute. We all knew all of those guys, okay? And he was referring to his co-host mentioning Edge, Bryan Danielson, and Christian returning. He said, all those guys had a run, and then something happened. Like Shawn Michaels, they retired, came back. Didn't nobody know who the hell Corey Graves was before he retired. I know he's going to be pissed off with that a little bit. And then he went on to add, he said, well, he said, but we haven't seen Corey Graves whoop nobody ass since he's been there. You never seen him walk up to anybody or even get tough or even talk tough. And now all of a sudden, Corey Graves is going to jump up from the table and start whooping up on guys. I mean, you're kidding me, right? My advice to Corey Graves is to sit at that table. And he said, time off is your worst enemy. How long has Corey been off now? Several years. So my thing is this, and the thing is, I'm going to tell you right now, damn it, if Corey Graves makes a comeback, I'll make him one.
A little bit of yes, great challenge, fail. A little bit of hate, yes. A little bit, just a little.
Booker's hating, bro.
Yo, what the fuck did Booker do to Corey? What did Corey Graves do to Booker T? Like, I understand
if he ever in his chest. He got that
Man,
anti-hate.
like-
bro, he is hating.
Yo,
That-
he must have been he must have been turned down for an NXT return. He must have been turned down by fucking AEW. He must have been turned down by Impact. He must have even been turned down by MLW. Like, he must be turned down by everybody to then see Corey Graves get a clearance. He's a clearance for in-ring return. He hasn't even apparently said he's coming back. He was just cleared. He was just cleared. And this motherfucker is going off, and y'all wonder why I went off on him? Like, yo, piece of shit 101. It's Booker T.
Hey,
Like-
so see, are you ready to send JJ off the rails? Because I think this next one is going to send JJ over the top. So
I mean, we don't have him for much long, so why not?
I just want to say what's up to the Tru Heel family in the chat, and it's definitely not drunk guy JJ on the stream. It is definitely not drunk guy JJ. So get that shit right.
Hey, Alan Weinstein says, "What's up, top guy?"
There you go.
He says,
What's up? What's up?
There you go. There you go.
So Sasha gets entrant, the main event mafia. There you go. And so here you go. So JJ,
He even got kicked out of that.
Yes.
Yes. So JJ, this is what he said. But Booker's co-host had jokingly mentioned that it should be a trios tag team with himself, Byron, and Corey, and they all should get back in the ring. And here is what Booker said, and I quote: "Hell nah, we don't want Byron Saxton in that pairing with me and Corey Graves. We don't want Byron." That's what he said. And then he said, "Byron, I'm gonna tell you right now, Corey Graves is," and he stopped himself, and then he continued to say it, "He got more black in him than Byron. I'm gonna tell you." And then he laughed. And that was that direct quote. And if anybody wants to listen to it, you can go on Booker's Reality Wrestling YouTube channel. Go to 40 minutes, and then there you go. Direct quote.
Y'all see the twisted shit that Booker's on. You see how he double backs on. So
That man is
basically,
sick,
he
bro.
shits on him for God knows how long, and then he gives him a backhanded compliment by saying that he's more black than a black man. So that's So I'm just really curious. I just want to know, like, how has this been reacted to in the wrestling world? Because I am like, whoa.
They was cooking Booker. They was cooking him on Twitter, bro.
Look,
they was cooking him.
Look, man. Look, I would love it because I got nothing but fresh shit for Booker, and he'll probably spit the same promos. He can't hit me with racist jokes because we're the same color, so he can't do that. So what else is he gonna do? He's gonna probably pull out his little $2,000 Hall of Fame ring, that just got the black WWE logo on it. That's great. I'll show him a building that I own. So we can go with the stat lines if you want to. We can go there. You go at accolades. Apparently, you've been kicked out of multiple companies and multiple factions, so you can't even hang on to a job. So let's start off with that. And the best thing about your entire run has been your wife. So let's talk about it. Because obviously everybody's favorite thing about him was King Booker. King Booker, and who was he with? He was with his wife. So I'm just saying, you want to steal a line, you can steal a line from what my man, the Tribal Chief, said to Seth Rollins. It said, if I wanted to pick a main event scene, I would do it with your wife.
Wow. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Top guy JJ is not here for a long time, but he's here for a good time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there we are.
Real quick though, Sid, like I know we laughing about this stuff, but Booker, like that shit is so corny, bro. Like saying, you more like, and he was laughing about it, but like still, like I think it's just some like certain stuff like you just don't play around with, and you don't like, come on, bro, like don't like. I get they like to joke around with Byron and stuff like that, but don't make no wild ass comment like that. Like every black person is not the same, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what would even like lead to him thinking that when Byron speaks like in a proper manner, like that's what makes you know what I'm saying? Like the man is educated. Like you know what I'm saying? That's how he talks. We know Byron Saxton is a clown, but Byron Saxton is no less black than any person that is black. Like why would you now all of a sudden pull race cards on somebody that has no issues with you and never has had an issue with you? Exactly.
Yeah. And we'll never say anything negative about you.
And ever, because that's the type of, like, obviously we joke on this dude all the time, but we know Byron Saxton is one extremely nice dude.
Yeah.
Extremely nice dude. He's somebody we fuck with, not somebody we say demonstrative things towards. And Booker T is a clear asshole for that one.
Yeah, criticize him and talk about his commentary. And I don't really have an issue with Booker T saying that Corey Graves isn't the star of the other people that they mentioned, because that's a fact. That's a fact. Like,
there's only nothing else to call on about or any of his comments except just the ranking on him being cleared to wrestle. Like, he didn't make a proclamation that he's going to come back and be a champion of any sort. He just
never
got cleared.
He never said that.
He got cleared for in-ring competition. He might end up on Main Event or 205 Live.
Honestly, I want WWE to do what they usually do, and that's capitalize on pop culture. Hulu's coming out with a Pam and Tommy Lee docu-series. Do make WWE's Pam and Tommy Lee, Carmella and Corey Graves. Just make that the characters and push that. Push that. Have them feud with like the mid-carders. They don't have to be main event status or anything like that, but that's their characters and go with it. Because that would be much better than Carmella wearing the Phantom of the Menace fucking mask every week. So, I don't know. And it's better than Corey Graves commentating, because Corey Graves hasn't been good at commentating in a couple of years.
He hasn't been good since NXT. He hasn't been good since NXT.
It's been a few years, but I appreciate Andrew bringing up that topic. So now we don't have to talk about that later in the show. Corey Graves is returning apparently from Fightful Select and Sean Ross Sapp there. So thank you, Andrew. And we got a JJ rant on Booker T.
Yes.
Classic stuff. But now I gotta get ready to get out of here. I gotta go run this stuff. I gotta put this bad boy on. Just got a few minutes back here to myself, so I was like, I could kind of like drop the safety a little bit.
JJ, it's good to see you, man. For real.
Yes, good seeing you.
Good to see you guys. And just wanted to tell you one tidbit next week, sir. I have been cleared to ensure that I can actually be here for the entire episode next week.
Whoa! Look at that! Look at that promotion.
Breaking news.
This feels like AEW Dynamite. We're promoting matches for next week already, early in the show.
I'm just saying, you could make a special guest, whatever the hell you want to do. Probably a special guest, because I probably won't be back for like another month. But just want to give you the tidbit, because I was like,
Corey's cleared. JJ's cleared. Nexus page. What a year 2022 has been already.
Yo, my man just read a whole script. My man just read a cue card, bro. He just read a cue card.
Hey, that's what producers are for.
That's the exact same text with the exact. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's what producers are for, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, JJ, we will see you next week right here on Tru Heel Heat 159. Glad to have you back, but you enjoy work. I know you got to get to it, brother.
Good to see you guys. All right.
Good to see you later. Look at that, and look at that.
That's a good
just
man
for you,
right
Andrew.
That's a good man, right? I'm glad to see JJ, bro. JJ cool as hell. Good people right there.
Absolutely. He came midway through the intro, so he broke it up. But yes, glad to see JJ, and he will be here next week on Tru Heel Heat. Tru Heel roll call. We got to shout out a couple of our followers, our subscribers, anyone watching. Remember to drop a thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new, and maybe we will shout you out during the Tru Heel roll call, our Tru Heel Trinity, our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels group page on Facebook. Our Gino Bismo coming in at number 3. Number 2 is Reno Red. And number 1 is, of course, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Patreon backers, we got to shout out. The Negro Buck himself, Nick Jackson, Alan Weinstein, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris from the NWA podcast, Austin K, Slammin' Sammy Joe, You My Boy Blue, Yachty, Robert Haynes, Steve Salvage, Antoine Rutledge, and our newest Patreon backer, Vala B, who I see is in the live chat with us already, saying, hey, THH crew, if you want your comment read out in the live chat, your super chat donations are encouraged and appreciated. Helps out the channel a lot, helps us grow. Alan Weinstein gets the vibe with a super chat donation already, saying, just because you're here for me to listen to while working, thank you, THH, for all the amazing content. content. Now, real question: when we doing some NBA watch-alongs on Patreon? You keep asking for it, Alan Weinstein. So I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get together with Chris G, maybe Drunk Guy JJ. He loves a good watch-along. Maybe even Romeo, and we'll do a watch-along for an NBA game. It's just been really hard for me as a Lakers fan to watch any NBA at this point right now.
Man, y'all been some. Well, y'all ain't been no trash, but like it's been a rough season. It's been a rough season, bro.
I call it like it is. This is trash because I've seen real trash when we didn't have like Kobe, when we were just in the draft lottery and stuff. That was real trash. But to have 3 All-Stars and be 500 team, that's trash.
So like the thing about the Lakers is like I know a lot of people trying to place the blame on Westbrook. Like a lot of people are like shoving that, but like when you look at sort of Anthony Davis's early play during the season, I don't think he's performed like as well as people expect him to. And I think a lot of blame does get passed on Westbrook, but like Westbrook, he is very inconsistent. But like honestly, bro, I don't think that he fits in this team. I feel like the Lakers, they need like a traditional point guard. Like they need like a Chris Paul or a Rondo, or just somebody to sit at the top of the key and run the point. And I feel like with Westbrook, he's very demanding. And he likes Westbrook is a superstar point guard. Like he needs to be controlling everything. And when it's the Lakers, you got LeBron there, he's running the show. He's basically a point guard in his own right when you really think about it. So I just think they just don't mesh. And I think Westbrook would fit like somewhere else. I feel like y'all would really improve if he was off the team. And I don't think it's all his fault. I just think that it's just like the team looks good on paper. Like when you look at that team. We should be a top 4 team in the West for sure. But like, it was never gonna fit. I tried to have false facade, false bravado about it and say we're gonna be good. But he was never gonna fit. Like you said, it was just a bad fit from the beginning, and this is what has turned out to 42 games in. So. Yes, but I will watch NBA just for you, Alan Weinstein, and our Patreon backers. He also says, Rich was amazing last week. Yes, he was. He was awesome. Thanks for coming on, Rich. We're going to definitely have you back on. Everyone loved him. Our producer, Baby Seth, Miss Christy Love, everyone loved Rich, our fans here. Says, Frantic World says, what's up, SP3, Andrew, and chat? We got a super chat donation from Vala B saying, resolved my credit card issues with Patreon, and I'm finally a THH Patreon member. Blind Roarer, let's kickstart that fundraiser and go buy that ROH. Absolutely. Ring of Heels is coming, ladies and gentlemen. we got Alan Weinstein shouting out Andrew in the chat saying what's good, Andrew. We also got Vala B happy to see JJ is back. CM saying he's back. Yes. What a Frantic World with the WhatsApp top guy JJ. Everyone loving it. In the live chat here, we got Vala B also saying Byron is legit a respectable person though. Yes, that was not nice by Booker T at all. Vala B with a super chat donation here saying, this is what I come here for. This is what I paid for. Can you dig that, Booker? Absolutely. Yes, we will get more Top Guy JJ and his feud with Booker T next week right here on Tru Heel Heat. We also got Vala B shouting out, yes, I was happy that the new Degrassi reboot is coming to HBO Max. I can't wait. Me and Steven Jensen, Degrassi Dudes podcast every Friday morning. We're going to be happy to see Degrassi come back on HBO Max. And John Elite kicking us while I'm down, saying Lakers should have kept Kuzma. Yeah, because that was the big difference, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you see
That was the big difference, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Kuz hooping right now, DC. He hooping in the city right now. He hoop. Now, I'm being serious. Like
I know you are. He is. He's always been a bucket. I will never deny that Kuzma is a bucket, but he just wasn't a bucket at the right time for us.
He said, "Yeah, Kuz. That was the problem. I mean, that was the fix. Kuz."
Should have kept that damn Kuzma. That damn Kuzma, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, remember, drop a thumbs up on the video if you're watching us on Facebook. Drop a heart, a laugh emoji, however you're feeling about the latest wrestling news, including our top news story here, where we're going to be talking about MLW suing WWE. Fightful released a report based on the lawsuit that MLW has filed against World Wrestling Entertainment, Inc. The federal court antitrust lawsuit is based on WWE's ongoing attempts to undermine competition in and monopolize the professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects. As described in the complaint, WWE pressured third parties, including Tubi streaming deal, as well as Vice TV, to abandon contracts and prospective relationships with MLW. WWE's misconduct, including disrupting every level of MLW's business, including a major streaming deal for MLW, which would have been transformative for the company. MLW also alleged in the complaint that in early 2021, after MLW announced that it was in talks with Vice TV to air MLW programs on Vice, a then WWE executive warned Vice TV that WWE owner Vince McMahon was pissed that Vice TV was airing MLW programs and that Vice TV should stop working with MLW. The Vice TV executive responded that WWE's conduct was illegal and as an antitrust violation, and with the WWE executive responding that she could not control McMahon. The quote from Court Bauer about the lawsuit says that WWE has been wrongfully depriving its competitors of critical opportunities for many years, but its latest conduct have been very unconstitutional. I think we speak for the rest of the professional wrestling world when we say that this anti-competitive behavior has to stop. WWE's ongoing misconduct has hurt fans of professional wrestling and competition in the professional wrestling industry. Through this lawsuit, MLW seeks to recover its losses due to WWE's interference and to enjoin WWE from future interference. The case is captioned MLW Media LLC versus World Wrestling Entertainment, Inc. MLW is represented by Katsowitz Benson Torres, who is apparently a very high-end lawyer and someone that even Uncle Dave Meltzer says that is on a different level than even Jerry McDevitt. And if you saw the Dark Side of the Ring finale, Jerry McDevitt is a GOAT. So if this guy is a different level than Jerry McDevitt, then this is very, very more interesting than people have led on to. One example of this that MLW gave in the lawsuit about WWE interfering is about the Tubi streaming service, and that MLW has made and was about to announce publicly. The lawsuit states prior to Tubi and MLW issuing the joint press release, WWE learned of the terms and existence of the license agreement. On or about August 9th, 2021, WWE executive Stephanie McMahon spoke with Tubi executive located in California about the license agreement. Tubi is actually owned by Fox, and of course Fox has the connection with WWE. Miss McMahon initially pressured the Tubi executive to deny MLW a time slot that could compete head-to-head with WWE's NXT programs on Tuesday nights. But Miss McMahon ultimately pressured the Tubi executive and other senior executives of Fox to terminate the agreement in its entirety. Tubi's affiliate Fox could lose WWE's business or preferred content if Tubi did not as requests to WWE's demand and terminate the agreement with MLW. On August 9th, 2021, the night before a planned press release about the Tubi and MLW deal, as a result of WWE's pressure and interference, MLW received a letter terminating the license agreement. MLW claimed this led to a 40% drop in ticket sales, so it hurt their business on different levels. And then they said a second example about the Vice TV, and apparently basically WWE executives called and interfered with them getting to Vice TV. And other accusations on the lawsuit were that WWE attempted to poach MLW's talent and aired footage of one of MLW's fighters without authorization or consent, and WWE also allegedly attempted to induce MLW's wrestlers to breach their contracts and reveal confidential information about MLW's business. So, Andrew, that's a lot to take in. Yes. lot to take in, but do you believe that MLW has some legs to stand on with this lawsuit?
Yeah, not. I don't really think so, man. Because I think I was actually pulling up something because I wanted to actually mention something that you said when you talked about the lawyer that MLW has representing them. And when I was doing earlier this week, we on the Post Wrestling YouTube channel, we did a daily news update with myself, Wei Ting, and Brandon Thurston, who everybody knows from WrestleNomics. And he had shared that the MLW's lawyer, his past clients include Bill O'Reilly and Cheeto Man Donald Trump. So he has represented both of those individuals. And regardless of what I think about Donald Trump, so when we were talking about specifics of this lawyer case, that's a I guess top tier client, I guess is what you would describe him as. Well, see with MLW, the thing about this is like I don't think that they would go to this length if they didn't feel like they had some room to stand on. Like I just don't believe that they would just jump out there like this to try to file a suit against WWE, which is a juggernaut, and WWE could honestly just keep dragging this thing and then make it a our money versus your money type thing, because these lawyers ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So and we've seen WWE do this before, like with certain cases, like even with the even some it's not as big as this, but like something similar, like with the WWE 2K Randy Orton tattoo lawsuit that's filed against them. Like that's been getting stretched for like three some years now. You know what I'm saying? Like they can afford to keep pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off, and then like it just eventually at some point it will turn into our money versus your money. And then when it comes to the lawyers,
and they always win.
And they always win. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, like I just can't get myself to believe that MLW would jump out there like this if they truly didn't believe that they had a chance. And I'm wondering, like, what are they looking for, like, out of this? Like, of course, they want to prove because Brandon Thurston has sort of like further clarified like this for me, sort of like put some ideas in my head, and he just like they have to prove that WWE is they sort of have the ability to have a monopoly on the industry, and he was like Jerry McDevitt could easily use the cop out of, look at all Elite Wrestling, we don't run this. You know what I'm saying? Like he could easily say and shut the whole thing down, because it's true. Yeah. He could just easily be like, you think we run this? Look at all Elite Wrestling. They're on TNT, at TBS, and they got all these deals, and they've been here 2 years, and they're making all these strides, and he could really.
So you could do this. So
yes, as he could do that as a cop out to to shut the whole thing. And when you really look at it from a legal standpoint, or like if you was like in a room, like in a courtroom, and you was on a jury or whatever it may be, it kind of makes sense. Like if he were to say something like that, because I just think MLW, man, they got an uphill battle. Like I don't think this is gonna be something that's gonna be resolved in a couple months. Like I feel like this is gonna go for a while, but I think we all are very, very interested to see how this turns out in the end.
It's going to be very interesting how this all transpires, and it could go on for quite a few years. And yes, joining us is the one, the only, the star and ace, the ace and face of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon. Thank you for joining us.
What is up, fellas? What is up, everyone in the chat? I was listening to you guys talk. So it seems like MLW has a big time lawyer. I guess that's why the wrestlers aren't getting paid enough. All the money's going to the lawyer, right? I guess.
Yes, because we should also mention that Joey Janela came out and in defense of WWE against MLW and says that
2022 is wild.
Usually, you want to support the underdog against the big dog, but this ain't it. That's how Joey put it. And he says that court is paying. Here is the tweet here. He says this dude has no GCW written in his contracts because I called him out for taking advantage of young talent. I hope the Titan puts him out. I know it's the cool thing to support the underdog taking on the big dog, but this ain't it. What do you think about Andrew, about Joey Janela coming out in defense of WWE? Which 2022 is drunk already,
Yeah, we gotta call WWE the Titan.
The Titan. We invented I know you saw the clips before at the beginning of the show. We got Terrence from Florida now for Terry Bollea, and now we got the Titan for WWE. We're gonna call them the Titan. What do you think about Joey Janela supporting the Titan, Andrew?
Yeah, I think for Janela, for him to like come out and like openly say that stuff, I think it definitely has some merit to it. Like even when when we put the article up on post and like looking at some of the quote tweets, it was quite a few people, man, that made some similar comments. You know what I'm saying? So like I think at some point, like when you got a bunch of people sort of saying the same thing, more than likely they ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? So I like we was going back to what we were talking about originally, man. MLW, they got an uphill battle with this one. Like I don't know how long they can like sort of stretch this. Or I'm just curious to see like what are they like looking to like get from this. Like are they looking for some type of settlement payout? Because I think WWE had recently settled on a lawsuit not too long ago. They gave like $39 million to I think the Warren Police County or like fire staff or something along those lines, but they settled for that. And they recently had that. I'm pretty sure y'all remember that concussion lawsuit.
Yeah,
Constantine Kairos filed it, and he was looking for $500,000. And I think the Supreme Court had shut that down. He didn't, it did not work out for him at all. So
which they dragged out for years.
Yes,
that's you see what I'm saying? You see, that's what they do. They will drag these things out, bro, and then it just gets to a point where it's just like after a while, it just has no merit to it. It's like like they just keep dragging it out. So like MLW, man, like I don't know about this one. Like, and I think Romeo, like I know he was talking about the pay thing, and like for real, like if you. So of course we don't know the exact details of MLW's relationship with this lawyer, like if like or what they paying him, but I'm pretty sure his retainer got to be something serious, like if he representing Bill O'Reilly and Cheeto, man. But like the fact that like maybe you should at some point like really look at this like as a like the overall thing and be like, we probably, if they are paying him a great deal of money, maybe you should sort of pull that away and put that into your talent, because if you have all these other different people saying and comment on Janela's thing and not denying what he's saying, I think at some point you gotta look at from like an internal thing and be like, well, maybe we should sort of shift those into the people that's working for us.
Yeah, I mean, if you have this much to put a retainer down on someone this like a lawyer that can compete with Jerry McDivitt or is a different level than Jerry McDivitt, then you have enough money to kind of put the money and invest in your talent. So I can understand where Joey Janela is coming from, and him calling out MLW seems to be a theme of his for the last couple of years since his stay in that company. But Romeo, do you think that has WWE been using their leverage to keep a stronghold on the wrestling industry despite all the success of All Elite Wrestling?
Are you trying to say that this man right here is petty? Are you trying to say that? He's a little petty.
Look at that face.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like an old Riddler.
Oh. Now we got another nickname, the Riddler.
He looks like he like there, instead of the dinosaur head, there should be a big question mark. And he's like, I got a riddle for you, Batman. And Tony Khan is Batman, of course. He's rich. That's the superpower. He's rich. So Tony Khan is Batman in this.
You're telling me the same company that put NXT opposite AEW Dynamite on TV on USA wants to hold down other companies? Yeah, the math seems to check out. A famous quote in history. I'm asking you guys in the YouTube chat, who do you think will win the lawsuit? Keep voting, guys. So far, it's 71% WWE, 29% believe in the underdog MLW.
Yeah, and then Cole Bauer had in his the comments that you read, it seemed I was gonna ask y'all, did it seem like sort of like a rallying cry, like when he was like, they've had this stronghold on the industry? Do y'all feel like he's trying to like get not necessarily like fish for other companies or other promotions, but like you feel like he's like trying to build like this goodwill type thing to be like, hey man, like, you know, that we're the underdog in this situation.
like
they're
follow us.
Yeah, follow
us. We're gonna riot. We're gonna riot against the Titan. We're gonna run to it. He said they're making them sound like they're fucking in the Matrix and fighting against the machines. That's what it sounds like. Like fucking Court Bauer is Niobe and leading the charge against the machines. We got a couple of comments to feature here. We got Alan Weinstein who says, "We all know how shady WWE is. Just another example. Fuck WWE." Vala B says, "This won't go to court. Might go for a big settlement." Yeah, that's the likelihood. Like Andrew said, like WWE is known for stretching this as long as possible. Even if someone wants to take it to court, they stretch it as long as possible to the point the other side loses enough money that they want to settle. That's their go-to. That's what they've done for years, and that's why they win a lot of their deals, or at least settle out of court. We got Vala B says he came in the defense of GCW more than anything. Yes, but he also did say that this is not the usual thing of supporting the underdog against the big dog. So you can take that as he's supporting WWE in this whole dispute here. We also got here Alan Weinstein who says, "And I like Joey Janela. Now fuck Joey Janela. Go MLW."
That's his gimmick in the chat. Andrew, Alan loves to say "fuck," fill in the blank.
Fill in the wrestler.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of his comments. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more like that.
CM says rich and has a complex. Yep, Tony is Bruce. Yeah, that hit me on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I just realized that Tony Khan is Batman. Yes, we have reinvented the new Batman movie. Move over, Robert Pattinson. It's gonna be Tony Khan as Batman with Vince McMahon as the Riddler. How long do you foresee this case going, Andrew? Do you think that is going to be stressed for a few years, or is this something that MLW might come to their realization within like the next year and be like, you know what, let's just settle?
I think they probably are going to settle at some point. Like I think it just depends on like what exactly are they trying to get. Like I feel like they're probably try to get like a good 60 mil, 70 mil, from WWE, and that that shit ain't gonna hurt them. But like I feel like that would probably be like something along the lines of like what they try to do MLW, man. Like I think that's like just the likelihood like what they're trying to get out of this whole thing is just like more funds that could help them grow their overall product. Because I mean they did say in the press release that WWE stopped the deal that could have been transformative, I think is the word used for the promotion. And that like we all just said, WWE, they petty as shit. So like I can definitely see them like at some point like stepping in and like maybe not directly being like, hey, you don't need to edit this, but like people can go to certain people and say certain things in a way that you don't really have to say exactly that, but they know what you're trying to say. Like, and then maybe something along those lines. And if WWE really did stop a deal for MLW that could have been transformative as the word, and possibly robbing wrestlers of like having another big option to go to, then I think that they have every right to be upset and it like transformative in all the sense of the word means that they could have changed the overall scope of their business and trajectory and everything. So if that really is the case, WWE they really in the wrong. But like the thing is, how are you gonna prove that?
Yeah.
Like how do you prove that? You get somebody to speak up, like what I'm saying? Like how do you prove that it could have been transformative as well? You know what I'm saying? Like how it's I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah,
I mean, we can't really tell if these allegations are like truth to it or anything like that. But I will say that another company rising up is not good for WWE, because no matter what people say, AEW has not hurt WWE's business at all, because they've made these big deals with Fox, with Peacock, and they're going to be paid for years. And Saudi Arabia, of course, they get $45 million for every event there. But as far as fan perception, they have been hurt by AEW. The last 3 years has seen AEW become the promotion that is most popular among the hardcore wrestling fans. And that hurts WWE's business overall because they had a whole brand that was dedicated to hardcore wrestling fans in NXT, and you totally killed that to the point that they had to revert back to 15 years ago when it was just a developmental. Like that's very much affecting WWE and its business by just the rise up of AEW. So I wouldn't be surprised if WWE did do a few things to kind of keep MLW in check. I just think it's crazy that just like maybe like 6-7 months ago, we were talking about WWE possibly working with MLW, and now we are here. So Scott D'Amore, Impact Wrestling, fair warning.
Hey, you might know. So I actually wanted to ask both of y'all, and Romeo, I wanted to ask you this too. Like, do y'all think Impact should be? So for like, I know we're gonna talk about it a little later, so I'm going to save our opinions for that. But like, do y'all think Impact should sort of just be just a little weary about, like, you know, be cautious about this whole thing? Because WWE, like, we ain't never see them do this before. Like, they on the TV mentioning Impact and all that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's cool. But like at the same time, like when you look at sort of the track record, it's like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Impact might want to watch out just a little bit, or just be like cautious enough to like
I would be
understand
like
that
20% weary, but like 80% want to go for it with Impact. I think it would be more beneficial for them. I think the risk is worth the reward.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, especially if this is just a one-off for Mickey, and you know, you got the title on Mickey, you get the title on WWE television. It can do nothing but good for Impact Wrestling. If this is just it, this will do nothing but good for Impact Wrestling. If it turns into more, then I would be wary, because I literally had 30 years of information that tells me if you partner up with WWE, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get screwed in the long run. But speaking of Impact Wrestling, that brings us to what we missed, and what we missed was Impact Hard to Kill, which was last Saturday. It was main evented by Mickie James defeating Deonna Purrazzo in a Texas death match to retain the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Bloody war, but you know, very good that they had those ladies in the main event spot. Moose beat Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey in a 3-way to retain the Impact World title. Tasha Steelz won the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match to get a shot at the Knockouts Championship. Josh Alexander defeated Jonah in a hard-hitting slugfest. Jonathan Gresham beat Chris Sabin in a wrestling clinic. This kind of show had a little bit of everything. That one was
pay-per-view of the year
to retain the ROH World title after Rhino, Heath, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Eddie Edwards beat the Good Brothers and VBD in the Hardcore War. We even got a ROH invasion with the OGK, Vincent, PCO, and Maria Kanellis attacking the babyface after the match. So this show had a angle, had a wrestling clinic, heavyweight slugfest, a big time main event with the women. Romeo, you say it's the show of the year. Why?
Because Wrestle Kingdom was 2 nights instead of 1. To basically, if Wrestle Kingdom would have been 1 night and you put all the good stuff on one card, that probably would have been better than this, especially since it has the match of the year, maybe the 2 matches of the year. Impact, I enjoyed from start to finish. Like, I didn't have much to complain about. I know the world title match may have bothered some people with all the overbooking and overkilling with the ref bumps, but for me, who's not an avid Impact watcher, that was a very enjoyable show. At least a 9 out of 10.
What did you think, Andrew? What was the biggest thing that stood out from Hard to Kill for you?
So I haven't had the chance to see Hard to Kill in full. Like, I had the chance. I went back and watched the Mickie James, Deonna Purrazzo match. Like, I've been tied up with the news writing and stuff. So like, I haven't had a chance to like. I even had the chance to see Wrestle Kingdom Night 2, bro. Like, I've been like really tied.
That's the better night.
Yeah, that's what everybody keeps saying, and I heard a lot of people say the NJPW versus Noah show was all right. It was that. It was. But
I'm waiting for today. Today is when it goes on New Japan World. It took a whole week to get on New Japan World.
It was bad. It was bad.
No, that sucks. It takes a whole week to put on New Japan World.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo, I really did enjoy that match. I did enjoy seeing Tasha Steelz win the Ultimate X. I think that was a very like one of those matches for the women's division that was that it sort of needed to happen, and it was very cool to see it happen. I heard her speaking on Busted Open Radio, and she was like how herself and Jordan Grace was like really bugging Scott D'Amore about it, and like at the Slammiversary show they had when it climbed up on the Ultimate X structure to show them. He got the
you said Tasha Steelz. I had to.
Yeah, I saw that they had that they went up and climbed the structure to like show them like we can do this too, and that was real cool. And but yeah, Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo, man, like for real, bro. Like I think when you look at Deonna's 2020 to where she is right now, like it's you can honestly make a case for her having one of the most like successful like bounce backs of somebody who had got cut from WWE. Like, dude, she has been doing some like great character stuff. Like, and even when she did WWE, she really didn't have a character. She was just like this person on the roster who wrestles or was just never on TV. But now she has the whole virtuosa thing, and got the theme song and like everything else that come with the complete package. And she's just a great wrestler. Like I think about that match she had with Jordan Grace. I think it was Slammiversary 2020. That was one of my favorite matches of the year. Like Deonna's having a like hell of a year. I think she's definitely gonna, hell of a past 2 years, but I think she's definitely gonna get a knockout title back. But it's just, Mickie James and her history with WWE, I think it just makes more sense promotional wise to have her go into the Rumble as champion. And she had said on the Ariel Helwani show that she's gonna be wearing the Knockouts title at the show. So I think it's and come out to her thing. Exactly.
Please.
I'll believe when I see it.
Yeah,
hey, Romeo. I said the exact same. I was like, all right, okay.
Come on, Mickey. Everyone knows you with the cheerleader theme. They don't know you with the theme.
No, we want to hear some hardcore country.
Hey, Romeo. That was a good Vince McMahon impression.
Oh, it's the easiest voice to do.
but yeah, man, like I think it was just a good decision to have Mickie going there. And then I think this was also sort of like trying to rectify the situation last year when they put her bags in the trash, they put her stuff in the trash bag and stuff, and like that whole situation on Twitter. So I think this is also like some type of make good on WWE's part, not Mickey's part. Like I think they like I saw people was like, after all that stuff she said about them and yada yada yada, bro. If your former employer, right, is throwing you a bag for one night, all you gotta do is go in there for one night. You're probably gonna be in there 15 minutes max, right? But go do it. You know what I'm saying? Just go do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she'll be back on Impact, and
even if the money is in a trash bag.
See, that's a different story.
What I did there?
Oh, really? I'm happy for Mickie. This is a huge opportunity, and I think Impact made the right decision keeping the title on her, especially if she's gonna come out with the title at Royal Rumble. I mean, I wanted Deonna to win. I thought Deonna was going to win, and I do agree with Andrew that she will eventually get back the Knockouts Championship, but Mickie James was the right hand to go with on this one because you got to get that promotion.
I asked you last week. You saw the clip in the beginning. I asked you, do you think there's a tiny little chance just because the Rumble thing? You're like, no.
I was like, no.
Romeo SP3, do y'all think Mickie is going to complete the trifecta this year? Do you think she'll appear for AEW at some point and have a one-off match?
She should because I got the interesting someone who I think is gonna pull off a trifecta in like a week or so. But we'll get to that when we talk about who we think is going to go through the forbidden door at the Royal Rumble. But we also missed from the week SmackDown last night. They had a cool main event segment with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to build their Royal Rumble clash, with Roman saying if he wanted to face a megastar from Raw, he would face Seth's wife, as Top Guy JJ referenced earlier. Lita made her return turn with Charlotte Flair interrupting, but getting Charlotte laid out with a twist of fate. Aaliyah defeated Natalya in the quickest women's match in WWE history, the fastest victory, as they say. And the Vikings Raiders won a fatal 4-way to become the number 1 contenders for the SmackDown tag team titles. Romeo,
was the fastest match, but also this makes a new record for WWE programming. The least amount of women's wrestling besides 0 seconds, 3.17 seconds on one night.
Bravo, WWE, setting new records every which way. Did anything stood out to you on this show outside of the main event, Romeo?
Just that. Aaliyah's debut. Newsworthy.
Newsworthy is Aaliyah's debut. Absolutely. We got a couple of comments to feature here. We got Connor Smith says, seems to me the lawsuit may have came out in spite of WWE not working with MLW. Do you think there's any credence to that, Andrew?
I mean, it could. I don't think you could rule it out. I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, when I just saw the comment, I was like, I mean, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. MLW is petty. Hard to Kill. It was a 5 out of 5 pay-per-view, says Vala B here. Alan Weinstein says not a lot of competition yet, but an early pay-per-view of the year candidate. So some people agreeing with you there, Romeo. Connor Smith says the referee was hard to kill. We also got Vala B saying Wrestle Kingdom Day 3. Watch the 2 main events, skip the rest. Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Thank you. Save me some time. Thank you.
Pretty much that's all I've heard from this past week. We got
Tanahashi and Okada, they were co-main, right?
They were the main event against
okay.
Muda and I think Kendo or Nakajima, I think it was. Nick Jackson saying, what's up, my good brothers? Quick run-in from work. Thank you for joining us. Quick, Negro Buck. We got Frantic World says, yes, show the WWE fans there are other wrestling promotions outside of WWE. And we got...
I like Frantic World's other comment here. Did Tony Khan say if all the wrestling promotions work together, they would be bigger than WWE?
He did say that. That is an interesting quote, but MLW and Impact Wrestling is like, we work with all the promotions. We don't care. We are the Forbidden Door. We work with them all.
With the Infinity Gauntlet.
Absolutely.
All the stones. Shout out to the good brother Nate Milton. Vince finna blur the hell out of that knockouts belt, man.
Uncle Nate.
Brother Nate, what's going on? We got Brother Nate in the live chat. Got to definitely get him back on the show for sure. AEW Rampage last night had Adam Cole defeated Trent Beretta in a banger of an opener. These guys were wrestling like they had no necks at all, like just dropping each other on each other's heads. Jurassic Express beat John Silver and Alex Reynolds in a very fun main event to retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. Nyla Rose, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford defeated Chris Statlander, Red Velvet, and Layla Hirsch. And Sean Spears beat Andrew Everett, and then cut an excellent promo to hype his Dynamite match with CM Punk, and throwing some shade at Wardlow for being a one-trick pony who's only got a year of experience. Andrew, what did you like the most from Rampage last night?
Honestly, like you just mentioned it, I really liked sort of the story that's happening with Wardlow, man. I don't think the turn's gonna happen anytime soon, but like I feel like they're gradually building to, and now I feel like now we're at that stage in the story where people are starting to get behind Wardlow just because they're irritated with seeing him like get treated the way he is. So like I think that's like a real cool aspect, and I think they're gonna keep diving into that. I already like when they announced the CM Punk versus Wardlow match for Dynamite, like I had a feeling that was gonna be like the next sort of story arc that they were going for. So yeah, man, Wardlow, like his turn is gonna be something it's definitely gonna pop the crowd. Like, but I got a hot take about Wardlow. I don't think that he's gonna get the run that everybody thinks he is. I think everybody thinks he's gonna be like world champ. I don't think he is. I really don't.
I don't see it either. I don't see it either.
There you go. I'm glad it's not me. So y'all feel the same way. Like it's not. Y'all don't think he gonna be like this, like leading the company type.
No,
I had my guy, my good friend Alex McCarthy tell me he thinks that, you know, everybody and their mama kind of feel that Hangman Page, you know, is champion right now. The next champion is going to be MJF. Alex McCarthy has told me he thinks Wardlow's going to beat MJF for the AEW World Title, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know about that.
No.
The story is good. It doesn't need a title. And Wardlow, I don't feel is ready to be the world champion, and I don't think is going to be ready in the next year. That I think that MJF is going to be champion. So yeah, I don't see that being the play.
I got a question for Andrew because I know SB3's thoughts on this because he answered it on AEW Ramble. But Andrew, do you think the Wardlow MJF story has overshadowed or taken over the CM Punk MJF story?
No. Only reason I say no is because sort of the tension between Wardlow and MJF has been going on like for quite some time. That's the only reason I say no, and it's not at the level that it was, and I mean that in like back then it wasn't as like obvious, like it was like sort of like just things here and there, but like now the tension is like clearly is very evident. So like I don't think it's overshadowing, and I think CM Punk is just like a big enough star to like I don't think that could, you know, I don't think Wardlow could have that effect, but I think it's good for to sort of have like MJF having these two things that he might have to worry about, like Wardlow potentially turning his back on him, but then you got to worry about CM Punk. And like I should just actually throw a question back at you, like what you think that they're going to try to drag this out? I don't want to say drag it out, but like stretch this out to Revolution.
Yeah, it helps them milk it out to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe like maybe like a beach break, like maybe they do like a first match, or then maybe they run it back at Revolution, or you think they should just keep it off until like the first match should be on a big stage like Revolution?
I feel the match is big enough that they can come up with stuff to do in like 6 weeks to build it for Revolution. It seems like a pay-per-view match. At the same time, with the way they have booked this, I wouldn't be surprised if the main event of the first week of February in Chicago, Dynamite, is CM Punk versus MJF, because their rivalry started in Chicago. You would think that AEW would do it in a way that they would end it in Chicago, and that's a month out from the pay-per-view where they have enough time to build a new match for both guys.
Well, you've said that MJF should beat CM Punk, and then CM Punk gets his win back at All Out for the championship if MJF is like world champion by then.
Yes, what I feel they should do is build it out to Revolution, have MJF win at Revolution against CM Punk, and then MJF is the number one contender for Hangman at Double or Nothing, because Double or Nothing is where their rivalry began in 2019 when they were the final two in the Casino Battle Royale that determined who was going to get in the first AEW World Title match. And they had the whole segment with Bret Hart they were the first two people that were like in a segment with the AEW World Title. So it's a 3-year payoff for them. Yeah. So
it's a good story. Don't fuck it up, Tony.
Yes, you know, Jimmy's going to be waiting for that. AEW Dynamite this week. I will say, after AEW Dynamite, I did feel Wardlow versus MJF was hotter than MJF versus CM Punk, because Wardlow almost murdered CM Punk. CM Punk defeated Wardlow after a powerbomb symphony mauling, but he was distracted by MJF, which cost him the victory. Nice little post-match with Wardlow grabbing MJF's hand and the crowd going crazy. Sammy Guevara beat Daniel Garcia to retain the interim TNT championship. Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, were on screen together for the first time in AEW when Britt came out to take out Chris Statlander before Cole took out Orange Cassidy. This sets up a mixed tag match next week on AEW Dynamite. Lance Archer returned and attacked AEW World Champion Hangman Page, laying him out with a blackout through an open chair. Serena Deeb absolutely destroyed Hikaru Shida on the show, taking out her leg with a kendo stick. And Brody King made his debut to help Malachi Black take out Penta El Zero Miedo and the Varsity Blondes. I see that. Andrew, what was your thoughts on Brody debuting and the Kings of the Black Throne being united in AEW?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I was amped to see Brody King. Like I was amped for him, bro. Like and you mentioned the Kings of the Black Throne. I'm still trying to figure out how PWG has not gotten on board with some type of streaming. Like fucking DVD releases that they do every 4 months.
Seriously.
They're very stubborn. Very stubborn.
Bro, they could have been like as sort of like the head or like number 2 as far as independent wrestling, because I think GCW took that spot. But like it's hella confusing. But like Brody King, man, like I think him and Malachi Black, they're just like the perfect pairing, bro. And like I think that the potential that this House of Black storyline has could be like one of the best things on AEW TV, because I think that you also have the out of adding Julia Hart into it, because like I remember she sort of stopped them from beating him up, and like she did the whole like her reaction when she saw Brody King was very like to me it came like, I don't know if I'm just thinking about it too hard, but it just came off like, oh, I'm gonna act shocked, but I knew he was here the whole time, you know what I'm saying? So, like I can definitely see her joining that and like maybe doing something with her look, maybe dyeing her hair black or something along those lines or something like that, and like, scoop Buddy Matthews up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that could be your House of Black, and I think that group, like they have a shit ton of potential. So I'm really looking forward to see how this thing plays out. Like I think Malachi sort of got off to like he was off to a good start, and then he kind of just went down a little bit, and then now like with the addition of Brody King, like now it's going to be like like shit is about to like really kick in the overdrive like for that whole House of Black story. But like when I'm looking at some of the other AEW stuff on the card, man, like with Powerhouse Hobbs, like and like I thought that like after he lost to CM Punk at the Dynamite Rampage Grand Slam, I thought that he was going to be elevated to the TNT title picture, because the way Punk spoke of him after the match, and he was like, he didn't beat Hobbs, he escaped Hobbs. And I was like, CM Punk saying that, I feel like that did so much for him. And I was like, I thought that they were going to sort of go to the route of like Hobbs sort of entering the TNT title picture and eventually winning the title. Because I think Hobbs got everything. He got the facial expressions, dude, big as shit. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he could probably fight, have the roster, and probably win. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I think that stuff matters when you're talking about like the overall look at somebody's character. But yeah, he lost to Dante Martin, and what a year past year Dante has had. And just real quick, another thing. I'm a real big fan of Serena Deeb. Like I think she's a really great wrestler. Like I think her and Jamie Hayter are the best overall, like just pure wrestlers that they have in the women's division. Like they are like fucking great. And I hope that at some point they start to really get behind those two as like, I think they could be doing more posts of being like, but I mean, what they're doing now is fine, I guess. But like, I feel like there's like war on the horizon for both of them. But yeah, those are my Dynamite those. But yeah, I'm amped about Brody King, man. I'm amped about it.
Yeah, I think Serena Deeb is like going to be a TBS champion in the future. She seems like the type of person that can really like elevate that title through like great matches and stuff. So I just think the tag team division in AEW is just absolutely crazy right now. They had like 7 different tag teams that were featured on Dynamite. This felt like they were just spotlighting the tag team division, because they don't have guys like Moxley, like Kenny Omega. They didn't have Bryan Danielson on this show, but they just focused on the women and the tag team division, and it was a surprisingly better show than I expected. Any thoughts on Dynamite this week, Romeo?
Yes, can I just say that I love the on-screen like superstar power that like Adam Cole and Britt Baker have together. When you put them together, it's like you look at that and then you completely forget about Edge and Beth Phoenix, and Maurice. It's like, this is the power couple right here. This is the it couple right here. The grit couple right here.
The grit couple.
Yeah, like the difference with all of those couples in this one, like Miz and Maurice are a very strong heel couple, or were a very strong heel couple. I can't really tell if Edge and Beth Phoenix have that type of chemistry on camera. Seth and Becky don't at all have that chemistry on camera. It seemed like, and then they don't do enough with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. But like I think that Cole and Baker, the biggest difference with them, they could be your top heel or babyface couple because they're that over. So I do say, yeah, it was very cool to see their chemistry on camera together. AEW had a big week because they were coming off the heels of AEW Battle of the Belts, which did 704,000 viewers. AEW Dynamite did 969, so slightly down from last week's TBS debut. But Battle of the Belts did a pretty good rating on Saturday, and they had Sammy Guevara defeat Dustin Rhodes to win the interim TNT championship. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, beat Riho to retain the AEW Women's World Championship, and Ricky Starks defeated Matt Sydal to retain the FTW title. Romeo, do you think that there's any reason why we have an interim TNT championship?
Yeah, Dummy Khan with his stupidity. Cody's coming back this week, correct?
Yes, this week.
Yeah.
There was no
interim champion for 2 weeks.
Championship. There was no reason. That was very Dana White booking with the heavyweight
Dana White.
I was gonna say that the Saturday shows for AEW, they appear to be doing better ratings than the Friday Rampage shows, huh?
Yeah,
maybe that's
Saturday
at TBS or no TNT. TBS?
Wait,
TNT
was
would
TBS?
want to reconsider.
No, it was TNT. It was TNT.
It was TNT.
But yeah,
Okay.
Saturday Rampage did well. This show did 704,000, which was better than Rampage the previous night. So yeah, I mean, it should be a move that AEW should be looking at a little bit more closely right now. We got Annika Wilson in the live chat with us saying, "Sweet Lord, don't let WWE ruin Lita's return with a match against Charlotte Flair." I'll be honest, I wanted to see Lita versus Charlotte Flair after that segment on SmackDown.
Man, like the thing, you good, Romeo?
Anika's just trolling me. Apparently, I'd love to see another legend retired by Charlotte. It'd be great.
Like, did you see that sale of the Twist of Fate? I saw a lot of people was clowning Charlotte for that. She did like the straight fall down, like she just leaned into the ground. But like, man, did y'all remember? So Lita had said during that promo that she didn't compete in the Royal Rumble, and I was like,
I think she fixed it afterwards, saying she never competed when she was in her prime in the Royal Rumble, because I was like, I was there, my dude, in Philly. You were in the first Women's Royal Rumble. Like, don't revisionist history me.
But this is why I think it's so important to like not overly script people, like, because they got to remember all this different stuff. Like, bro, she's been doing this for so, like, bro, just let her go out there and talk, bro. I'm pretty sure she'll get to the point at some point during the conversation. But like when she said she had one more run left in her, I don't think it would hurt. Yeah, I don't think it would hurt to have to have Lita around, as like a consistent person on television, even past WrestleMania, or maybe they mean like from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, like she'll be involved. And like if she were to have a match at WrestleMania, like who would you guys like to see, or who's a talent that you think could bring her to that level of match that people would expect from?
Bro, I don't think it's going to be pretty in the ring. I don't think you want that. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think she's Trish Stratus the way that Trish Stratus was against Charlotte. Like Trish Stratus delivered. I don't think it's going to be the same story.
Yeah, I mean, Lita was very much dependent on her kind of style. And it's about, can she still do that style not being in the ring all these years? That's a very interesting question. And it's probably the reason why most of the time since Lita's retirement, we only see her in Rumbles and like tag team matches if she does wrestle, because I don't think WWE has that confidence in her to have a singles matchup. So it would be interesting, but if it was going to be a match at WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair is about the best option you could get, because that's probably the best person who could get something good out of Lita. I mean, Becky Lynch is also there, and you have the comparisons, but I don't feel that Becky Lynch is the type of performer that can carry Lita to a good to great match. Sasha Banks, if she's healthy and you've changed the plans for WrestleMania, that's another option as well.
It'd have to be like a multi-woman match where Lita could like at least sleep a little on the outside. Like you want to do Lita, Sasha, Charlotte, the battle of the past and the present, where she could sleep on the outside. Yeah.
Like I think Charlotte probably the best, because like Charlotte, the thing about her is like she's like so taller than most of the women in the division, so she can be a good base. Like when they want to do like certain like moves like the head scissors and stuff like that. Like she can like really base them and like do certain moves that like some of the other women in the division can't, and like do. I think Charlotte is just very like in positions like that. Like when you talk about the Trish Stratus match and the leader match and the potential leader match, I think that she is like sort of the perfect candidate to have those type of matches. Like, and it just like it just is what it is, bro. Like I don't like. I
Shit,
think
you know what?
just,
Call
like,
up Trish Stratus. Fatal 4-way. Trish,
Do
Lita,
a tag
Sasha,
match.
Charlotte.
do a tag
Do
match.
Do
Do a
that.
tag match.
We'll
Do
do
a
that
tag
on the
match.
way. Can they coexist?
Team besties
Can they-
versus the
can they-
Golden
can
Role
they co-
Models.
Can they coexist?
Can
they
they
coexist?
coexist? All their years of fighting. Annika says it should have been Trish versus Sasha.
That'd be
We
nice.
also we also got Alan Weinstein who says Wardlow takes the title from a Paige. The MJF tries to take control of the belt because Wardlow works for him, and then the breakup and MJF beats Wardlow, and then Punk beats MJF, and then Ricky Starks beats Punk. He's like booking the next 2 years of AEW for us. I give you that.
You go read the comment. See, I was gonna say something after.
No, go ahead.
No, so Hangman Page is going from, and this is no slight on who I'm about to mention, but Hangman is going from Danielson to Lance Archer. You know what I'm saying? And like, is like I don't got no problem with Lance Archer, bro. As a character, like on screen character. I think Lance Archer is very valuable. It can be used in a lot of different ways. I don't know. Like I feel like this is like one of those placeholder feuds, like just to buy some time. You know what I'm saying? Like
everybody has kind of said that they think it's going to be a TV match and not the pay-per-view. But I mean, I've come up with the thought that they have enough weeks to give him some credibility building wins.
That's true.
And then you make the main event, go with Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker 3 as the main event of Revolution. Or you could go with Punk versus MJF as the main event of Revolution. Like, you have a few options that you can throw in as the main event where Archer and Page can just be the world title match without the main event spot.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's options there, but we shall see what they do. Final comment that I wanted to feature here. We have Frantic World says Powerhouse Hobbs could become the TNT and FTW champion. I like to bring up what Andrew was talking about. Like, yeah, I always think they're gonna do more with Team Taz. Like, Team Taz is the stable that has the most potential in AEW that they don't do a lot with because they have no weak links in that group. Taz is great on the mic, great as a commentator, great as a manager. Powerhouse Hobbs is an intimidating force and the enforcer. Ricky Starks is great on the mic, great character, and he's really good in the ring. And then they have Hook. Come on, like there's no weak spots in this stable, but it seems like every time they get a storyline, they just either drag it out till it's dead, or they just don't pay attention to it. Team Taz versus Sting and Darby. Team Taz versus Brian Cage. Team Taz versus Dante Martin. Those last two, they just have dragged out or not really paid attention to it to the point that the fans don't care.
Romeo, I got a question for you. When is the next time that you think we will see Brian Cage on AEW TV?
Oh man.
Good question there.
No answer.
But I don't think I'm back. I'm serious. I think that they're gonna probably let his contract expire. To be honest with you, like I definitely think that's probably gonna be something that they and I know it was a situation with Melissa Santos commented that she felt like he should be used on TV more.
Shocker.
Like for like when I really think of, I don't really think that had that much of a. I just don't think that they have like much use for Cage, to be honest with, because like Powerhouse Hobbs, like before Powerhouse Hobbs came in, then I was like, oh yeah, I see why Cage fits in Team Taz. But like when Hobbs came along, Hobbs just played a better big man role and a better like role now than Cage did. He sort of outshined him, and it wasn't like he was trying to. It's just, but Hobbs just fit better. So it was just like Cage was like the odd man out, and it was just like, okay, like, you know, what do you do with him? And then once they removed him and after the whole FTW title thing, it was just like, now, like, what can you do with him? Like, where does he fit? Like, who do you want him to face? I mean, like, maybe you could have just to get Hangman some more wins. Maybe you could run that match back from Double or Nothing and have him beat Cage and sort of run that match back. But like, I don't really know what they do with Cage from here, bro. And I know they're not, they're not gonna release nobody or nothing like that. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But I don't really know if it's like a spot for him in eight. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to just like he regulate in the dark elevation. So I mean, like you might as well just let him, go do his thing. So
yeah, that's what it seems like they're doing. I know he's got a big match at Warrior Wrestling, I believe, next weekend against Will Ospreay for the Warrior Wrestling Championship, which should be great. But the things that Brian Cage should be a babyface and be standing out because he looks like how he looks and he could do all these great, amazing things in the ring. They just haven't gave him the opportunity to really do that. But so I agree that he should kind of go his separate way. And he's the type of guy that maybe WWE would call just for the way he looks. Speaking of WWE, we had WWE. Yeah, that'd be the key. WWE NXT.
Now I was about to say real quick, SP3, real quick. So if that were to have a scenario that you just threw out there, like that had immediately brought to my mind the Big Swole thing and like Tony Khan and his whole ordeal. Like I think we all sort of touched on it at this point, but like that was just some corny shit. Like it was just corny as hell. Like I don't know what the hell Tony Khan was, especially somebody in his position to like openly say that. You didn't think her wrestling was good enough after you being on these media calls multiple times on the record, talking about how great of a wrestler you thought she was and her personality and all this stuff. Like, it just make you look bad. And I know people was like, oh, promoters got to promote. So basically you being disingenuous and you telling her something that you really don't think about her. So I wonder how many other people could you be doing that to? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's a good thing at all. And I saw like people saying, Big Swole is a bad. Big Swole is not a fucking bad wrestler. I don't know where people are getting that shit from. You go check out her work on the independent. She had some real good matches in the Mae Young Classic. If you want to go check it out, is her AEW run an exact representation of her overall body of work throughout her career? No, you know what I'm saying?
No,
I don't think that she had this super amazing run in AEW, but like to call her a bad wrestler, I'm like, all right, now y'all stretching it.
Even her run in AEW, yes, absolutely. That's the energy we feel for Dummy Khan and what he's been doing as of late. But yeah, I mean, even her run in AEW had some really good stuff. That rivalry with Britt Baker is the thing that was the difference maker in Britt Baker's whole heel turn, because she was just pretty good on the mic and played the cocky role very well alongside Tony Schiavone, but she didn't have a foil until Big Swole emerged, and that was the difference. And I was screaming to the mountaintop on this show, any show I would do, that Big Swole was the natural first challenger for Britt Baker when she won the title. She beat her in the tooth or nail match. She had that last win over her, and you wanted to keep Britt on the heel side, so it didn't make any sense making Nyla Rose her first challenger, so it should have probably been Big Swole. So that's just a missed opportunity overall for Big Swole and AEW that they couldn't do more with her there.
But the thing is, like, the points that she made about like diversity, like I think like if you like go listen to the podcast, but she was making like some fair points. She was not like saying no off the wall shit, and then at that, it wasn't like it was this whole podcast of her bashing AEW, but she was making some fair assessments, and then like people was like, oh man, you can't, that's not what happened. But you can't tell somebody that was there and be like, oh, that couldn't be what happened, bro. She was literally there. You don't get to tell her what her experience was, and then when people talk about like diversity, I don't think it's just as simple as just black and different ethnicities and races and stuff like that. I think it's a bunch of different things. That's like having women involved, having people from like the LGBTQ community involved. That's having a diverse talent roster. And Big Swole, she was making some fair points, bro. And like people was just, they were just in their feelings about it because they, that she called out AEW and they shit. And it is what it is. But like we're going back to Tony Khan's point. Like I just think that was corny. I didn't think it was no place for that, especially with him being in the position that he is, and like him saying that he didn't like her wrestling I don't think it will, but it has the potential to mess up her outside stuff, because people are like, oh well, if this dude saying that he didn't like your wrestling, why would I book you? You know what I'm saying? Like
good point.
I don't think that it will happen, but I'm just saying there's that possibility there of a promoter looking at Tony Khan literally saying that he did not like her wrestling and then a promoter being like, well, if he didn't like your wrestling, then why would I? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, and he still ain't delete the tweet, so he's standing on what he said. He meant what he said. So I think legit at this point is just like pointless, and it would be disingenuous.
The fact that he hasn't deleted the tweet, man, that's just like you just lose credibility every single day. And we have a dummy con here. Dick Jackson saying Dummy Con needs to push the Kings of the Black throne to the moon. Yes, make it up to us. If you're gonna push something black, you might as well make it Malachi Black. That seems right up your alley. That seems right up your alley, Tony. Antoine Khan.
Antoine Khan.
WWE NXT 2.0. We also missed this week. They had AJ Styles visiting, and he defeated Grayson Waller in a good main event. And after the match, LA Knight returned to confront Waller. We also had Tony D'Angelo beat Pete Dunne in a crowbar on a pole match in what seems to be Dunne's final NXT match, as him and Tommaso Ciampa have been doing multiple dark matches on the main roster and even appeared on WWE main event this week. So what do you think about Ciampa and Dunne getting called up to NXT, Romeo? I mean, getting called up from NXT, Romeo.
By the way, Ciampa went in a time machine, went 10 years into the past, took all the gray out of his beard.
Absolutely. Vince was like, he needs to not look like an old man.
I think Dunne could have maybe benefited if he could stay a little bit longer in NXT. I'd like to see like an NXT championship run. Ciampa has done everything in NXT. He doesn't need to be there anymore.
I don't even think Ciampa Dunne needs to stay for an NXT title run because there's nothing really for him to do. He ain't beating no Braun Breaker for the title. That's for damn sure. So
he gonna lose. Just because I know that he's got the years on his contract. He re-signed. He's got some time to kill. Why not?
No, they re-signed him to get called up.
The thing about the whole NXT 2.0 thing is like, even when you look at some of the people that they bringing in that they're signing who they haven't announced yet, like most of these college athletes that really have no experience in professional wrestling, like when I'm looking at what WWE is trying to churn out of the Performance Center, man, it's like, it's no guarantee that all these people will turn out to be like these great wrestlers, but it's not possible. And like, of course, like I'm pretty sure they're aiming for the character aspect more than anything. Like they want people to be these television characters and stuff like that. But like, dude, that's only going to be sustainable for so long. Like you can't have everybody in the same spot, everybody trying to be the same thing. You can't teach everybody the same thing. Like everybody has to be different in their own way. And I think that's why this formula that they have, bro, it's not gonna last, bro. I'm telling you, I give it 2 years before they revert back to what they was doing. Like when they start hiring independent wrestlers and people who've been on the scene for a long time.
Ooh, look at this hot take.
Now for real, I'm telling you, but I don't think it's gonna last because you need people there who have been in the business for so long and they can sort of pitch these different ideas and like them letting go of Regal and letting go of people who have like, dude, they have seen every single thing. Like they can literally pass on decades of knowledge to these people, and like I just don't think it's gonna work. I'm telling you, I give it to like 2025, 2024, like until they revert back until they try to revert back to what NXT used to be. But I actually want to ask you, said like if you were I know it's sort of on topic, but like if you were Triple H, right, would you even want to go back to NXT 2.0? Because we've heard Shawn Michaels say in these interviews, and he said Triple H hasn't been back. Wrestlers have said that they haven't really seen Triple H at all until he had a cardiac event, but they really haven't seen him since the NXT 2.0 started. Like if you were in this position and you just saw this thing that you built from sort of the ground up when y'all was selling out Staples Center and all this, the Motor Center, and y'all was packing out these takeover shows to see what it is now, like would you even like have the desires to even want to go back and try to work on some type of creative stuff?
No, I'd be depressed. Like it's like you went, you had to stay, you had a procedure in the hospital, and you come back, and your whole house has been rearranged. It's a whole different color. All the same people that used to live with you ain't there anymore. It's a whole bunch of new roommates, new family members. It's crazy what they have done to NXT.
You're much nicer than I am. I was gonna say it's like watching your wife get fucked by a new dude. You were much nicer. You took the nicer route.
There's that too. Which brings it into one of the news we were going to get into. We, according to Wade Keller on the PW Torch podcast, the people who were released from NXT, like Regal, Samoa Joe, and Road Dogg, that were a part of Triple H's team, was building to bring to the WWE main roster if the day ever came for him to run it. So it's not a good sign that those people were released, because if that was the plan, Keller stated that he said he's talked with people who have said Triple H was building his team that he would bring with him to the main roster if the day ever came that he would run the main roster. He wanted his group of people. At some point, it was thought that it would include William Regal, Gabe Sapolsky, and Road Dogg, and they're all gone. Unsurprisingly, Triple H is said to be bummed out over the news of the last week's releases, which included his longtime friends Regal and Road Dogg. Keller continued, NXT just isn't what it once was. I've heard just a little about Triple H, a reaction to all of this, and nothing super reportable other than it sounds like he's bummed out. Other roster cuts to NXT last week included Timothy Thatcher, Hideki Suzuki, Danny Burch, and Kathy Carino, aka Allison Danger, was also let go, and she literally moved herself and her daughter to Florida, and her daughter had started school to just be released.
Bro,
oh my God.
They moved from Las Vegas to Florida, relocated their whole life to, come be at NXT. And like, bro, I swear I ain't even gonna lie. If I was Triple H and when I saw Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, I'd have fell out. I'd have broke the fucking TV, bro. I'd have been like, you cannot be serious. I'd have been pissed. Bro, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. But seeing like so many people like sort of make the transition, and then you got Gargano like potentially, like it's like, damn, bro, like NXT used to be like this like real fun product, like especially when it was on the network 1 hour a week. Like, yeah, it didn't to see what it is now, but that's what WWE want, bro. Like, when you're looking at it from just that perspective, like, you got people already talking about Braun Baker probably gonna be in the main roster this year. You know what I'm saying? So is it working? Like, is it?
We shall see. We're not gonna know if this whole.
You got people saying the same thing about Carmelo Hayes too. Like, he might be prime for like. So when you look at it from that perspective, like, is it or is it just a situation of WWE just wants to push guys who are quote unquote more homemade and built from the infrastructure of their company, opposed to having somebody who's already established and got a big name?
Yeah, we're not going to know for like another year if this whole period of NXT 2.0 is actually going to work. It's not until these guys get called up to the main roster and get a significant push where we can either say yes or no, this worked or not. The other shows that we missed from the week, Raw, they did 1.632 million viewers. Doudrop beat Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan in a triple threat match to challenge Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title at the Royal Rumble. We got a hilarious opening segment with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley going at it on the mic, and Brock doing a funny knock-knock joke, apparently. Seth Rollins beat Big E, and Big E's latest struggle since losing the WWE title. And Alpha Academy, absolutely. Alpha Academy defeated RK Bro to win the Raw Tag Team titles. Impact on Access TV this week had a new champion being crowned as Deonna Purrazzo beat Roxy to win the ROH Women's Championship. The ROH Invaders made their presence known, attacking various babyface throughout the night. D'Lo Brown putting him through a table at ringside, and a group of Impact stars at the end of the night to stand tall to end the show. So ROH making their presence known in Impact Wrestling, coming off the heels of Hard to Kill. But we got the rest of the news to run down. Before we do that, a couple of comments.
Real quick, I got a hot take. Take. Roxy is signing with WWE this year.
It seemed like that. Yeah, it seemed like that from. I know she did Reality of Wrestling over the past week, and they did like a farewell for her. And then this match, losing the ROH Women's Championship, is a big statement. She just had the WWE tryout. She's young. She fits the bill for everything they're looking for.
Bro. Yeah.
So they got their future NXT Women's Tag Team Champions now. Roxy and Cora Jade, they just fit together. They can be little AJ Lees together. Those two are just, they would fit very well with each other, and that should probably be the team to beat Toxic Attraction. Which this week I do want to mention, it was like an epiphany. I realized that Toxic Attraction's initials are T and A. That blew my mind. I never put two and two together. Yeah, that's the reason. I feel like they. I feel like they came up with the initials before they even came up with the name. What do you think, Romeo?
Absolutely. I mean, SmackDown ran a commercial promoting NXT, and all it was like, look at how hot Elektra Lopez is. Come watch NXT.
Tits and ass, titties and ass, titties and ass, titties and ass.
With Toxic Attraction, I think most of it, like their whole character is like their like looks and stuff. Like, isn't it for the most part? Like, it's just like them, But I mean, I think what's the name? Mandy Rose made a couple strides, and I think they definitely priming her for a main roster return. I don't think they. I think this NXT thing is probably gonna last to like past WrestleMania, and then she going right back to the main roster. They'll probably do something like have her get involved in the Naomi Sonya thing, because Lord knows that ain't never ending no time soon. They've been dragging that shit. Like dude,
it's like still gonna be going on.
Make the match, bro. Make the match. Like let's please get this over with. It's like they I don't know what the hell they doing with Naomi. Like they be acting like Naomi is like this like just part of this old guard or something like that. But she's like 32 years old, bro. She's still young. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
they treat her slightly better than Tamina. At least there's that. Slightly. She doesn't get cheesesteaks thrown at her. At least there's that.
They threw a cheesesteak at this lady on her birthday. It was her birthday, bro.
Happy birthday,
it was her birthday. It was bro, it was her birthday, bro. And they said, okay, you want to be on TV for your birthday? Cool. They threw a cheesesteak at her face. What was it? It was Philadelphia too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they didn't even go to the best place. They didn't even go to the best place. We got Frantic World says, I hope if Big Swole comes back to AEW. Then we got Annika Wilson says, I'm petty. Let her be in the Royal Rumble. We got Alan. Absolutely. Alan Weinstein saying Antoine and Terrence from Tampa been hanging out. This shit with Swole is a joke. She is a nice worker. It might not be race, but it could be, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was. We also got Vala B saying, even if TK maybe apologized to her privately, he still publicly put her down. That's BS. She shouldn't come back like that. Good point.
That's the number one rule, bro. If you not even just in wrestling, bro. If you gonna go in on somebody publicly, apologize publicly. If you gonna apologize, like don't like that. I'm talking about that's just in life, bro. Like if you gonna go in on somebody and then you want to apologize, you gotta do it the same way that you dished it out. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just like an unofficial code that you're supposed to live by.
Keeping the same energy. A couple of people loved Romeo's comments. Annika Wilson, Frantic World saying, wow, Romeo. We also got Gunnar Becker saying, laughing his ass off. And he also says Naomi versus Mandy ain't happening till 2023. I guarantee you, I like the way that sounds. That sounds very much WWE.
Naomi versus Sonya.
Naomi versus Sonya 2023, yeah.
Maybe, but I think that Mandy and Toxic Attraction get called up to the main roster. I think you're right about that, Andrew. Most of our wrestling news, we have WWE news. WrestleVotes reported that they had more than one source over the weekend without them directly axing, state that they believe WWE will try for an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant for the men's Royal Rumble. They said that they're spectacle, but WWE is at least open to the idea, and we will get Andrew. Romeo, and myself to predict who we think will go through the Forbidden Door for the Men's Royal Rumble to end this show here. WWE's original plans for the top matches at WrestleMania 38 have now been revealed. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the original plan for Sasha Banks before news of her foot injury that will keep her out of action for 6 to 8 weeks was a match with Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's unknown if they will continue with that plan because Sasha will return by March, but if things have changed following the injury, but she's going to return about mid-March. It was noted the original plan for the top 4 matches was Banks Flair, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, which until this week on Raw, they have showed us nothing that told me Bianca Belair was going to be in the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania, but I'm happy to hear it. Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Oh, you good. You good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I really do think that she's going to challenge Becky Lynch for the title at Mania. I do. I really do. Like I feel like they're trying to like bad time. And WWE, they do like a real shitty time of trying to do that. Like they don't. It's like sometimes they're incapable of like telling like just this story straight through. It's like always like a bunch of different shit within it that you got to get to the main thing. But like I definitely think that they're leaning towards Bianca Belair. Like I don't know why she had to lose to Becky Lynch in 5 seconds to whatever it was and 8 whatever how many seconds it was to get to this point. But like I'm gonna give Bianca all the credit in the world for actually being able to like somehow come out of this like that loss and like be even more popular than she was. Like for her to like be what she is now, and then so I'm gonna give her all the credit. I ain't giving her no type of credit for that. I'm gonna just say that's all her natural charisma and her being able to break out of that situation. But like this WWE, I feel like we could have got to this point without her losing to Becky Lynch in that matter. But like I mean, at this point, I think it's kind of this is like whatever now because I feel like Bianca is like on the up and up, and I definitely do think that she's gonna beat Becky Lynch for the title at WrestleMania. I definitely think that's gonna happen.
I would love to see it. They have just went the weirdest way to get there. I'll tell you
what. I don't see Bianca winning the Rumble again, which means you have to.
Oh, that ain't happening.
We look towards the other title match, and Sasha's not going to be in it, which I'm liking my chances for the Queen Charlotte to win.
Bayley's winning. Bayley's going to replace.
It's a great storyline. Charlotte's going to pick Sasha Banks because she knows she can't win at WrestleMania. She's the opposite of undefeated. She's defeated.
Charlotte's not winning. Charlotte's not winning, ladies and gentlemen. The final WrestleMania match that's been planned is Seth Rollins versus the winner of the Royal Rumble, which Dave Meltzer noted will either be Big E, Kevin Owens, or Bobby Lashley. So I think it's going to be Big E. Yeah, I want it to be Big E. Redemption.
Thank you, Romeo. Exactly.
Speaking of Bayley has been out of action in WWE for some time, ever since suffering a knee injury last year. She had surgery for a torn ACL in mid-July. And according to Wrestling Observer newsletter, the former longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in history is expected to return as early as next month, although it's more likely she will be back by March. This would bring her back in time for WrestleMania. And if for some reason WWE decides to move on from its original plan of Banks versus Charlotte Flair due to Banks' foot injury, Bayley could be slotted in, and that's why I said Bayley wins the Royal Rumble versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. But the better match would be Bayley winning and versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, because that's the only horsewoman match they haven't gave us at nauseum.
But then you'd have to put Bianca to the side.
See, look at you. See, you shouldn't try to stop the good sister from getting that moment. Hey, Romeo, let me ask you this. Over or under on the odds of Bayley's first promo being a "You People" promo?
Oh, I hope not. Don't just throw a bucket of cold water on the huge molting pop she's gonna get by giving us a "You People" promo.
You people thought I was gonna be happy to see you. I'm telling you, this is that
people
is
are gonna be so happy to see Bayley again. Like, which has been so good as a heel. It's tough to just say, all right, be a babyface now.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. But the thing about these returns is I feel like it always throws like a sort of a wrench in what could possibly happen, because between when Bayley comes back, we don't know who could be hot by now. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like anything could legitimately happen. So and then you got Sasha factoring in like
I mean, Liv Morgan was hot, and then they just cooled her off by all the losses.
Hey, bro. Liv Morgan is going to be in the women's battle royal at WrestleMania. I'm telling you, she is getting cool. But they changed her theme song. There was nothing wrong with her theme song. They changed out, like, she lost to Becky Lynch twice. Like, Liv Morgan is definitely getting the cool off treatment right now. Like, I think Liv has so much like natural fan support. Like, a lot of people just wanted to see her get to that level. Like, but like I feel like in a way that they could have find a better way to keep her strong, and then maybe you could sort of factor her into some type of you could factor her in some way in a sort of marquee program of WrestleMania. But it feels like they giving Liv like hey look, we didn't get your moment in the sun. Now let's bring it down, because you come chill out and we go put you in this battle royal on the pre-show, and then we're gonna be all good.
You can win it.
She should have never left. She should have never left SmackDown. The story was for her to verse Charlotte, but they never went in that direction. But WWE is going in a direction to bringing the Elimination Chamber to Saudi Arabia. The next show is set to return to Saudi Arabia on February 19th. And FIFA has learned that as of now, the working plan is for the Elimination Chamber match and structure to take place at the February Saudi Arabia show. They said they're unsure of the premium live event name will follow that, or if they'll opt for something different. Tentative presentation for the Elimination Chamber to take place in Saudi Arabia in February has been going on since the last show in October, and which is when Fightful first heard of rumblings. And there's also been discussion of taping an episode of WWE TV in Saudi Arabia as well. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the company is considering rebranding the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania Chamber. However, it's unknown if that refers to the match itself or the name of the event leading to WrestleMania. WWE is looking at rebranding the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania Chamber, not official until it's announced. And then Meltzer also put out a tweet saying that they also are talking about changing the name of the show to the annual Elimination Chamber. What do you think about the chamber coming to Saudi Arabia and the changes to the name, Romeo?
I believe Dave Meltzer also said they don't want to call it Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia because of all the human rights issues over there. He compared it to World War II, to Nazi Germany. Putting an Elimination Chamber over there. They didn't have Auschwitz was available. He got a lot of heat for that tweet. A lot of heat. He's like, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I'm fine with the Elimination Chamber being in Saudi Arabia, like one less pay-per-view, just put it there. I'm fine with that. Renaming it, I understand, considering what I just said. WrestleMania Chamber, I don't know. I guess if it's for a title match at WrestleMania.
Bro. That name is so ass. WrestleMania Chamber. Like,
is it worse than WrestleMania Backlash?
Yeah.
I mean, WrestleMania Backlash was a good show. At least it was that. I'll give it that.
Was it? Zombie Lumberjacks?
I mean, that was all. But everything else on the show was good to great. Everything else on the show was good to great.
But the for I don't have no problem with elimination. The chamber taking place in South. Like I think it's about time that they stop doing like these gimmick pay-per-views and like forcing these stipulations on certain matches and like, hey, this is because it's TLC, everybody has to be in a TLC match. Like motherfuckers been feuding for like 2 weeks and now all of a sudden it's a blood feud. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. But like I think Elimination Chamber is always a fun match to watch. It always turns out good. Like whenever you have like a crop of talent, they just go out there and put on a great match. So and the Saudi crowd, they pop for everything. So it'd probably be some enjoyable.
The last show was actually good.
Yeah, it was. And they had some of the best reactions for the Saudi show ever.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. When Mansoor wins his first title in Saudi, that is going to be one of the biggest reactions in the history of pro wrestling, bro.
It's going to be like the Hardys return again.
Oh my god,
that shit is going to be insane, bro. I'm telling you. Mansoor is going to win the U.S. or Intercontinental title in Saudi one day.
Oh my god,
that shit is going to be insane, bro. I'm telling you that reaction is going to be ridiculous. Like Mansoor is getting stamped into every WWE video package from that point on. I'm telling you, he gonna be locked in.
WWE Hall of Famer Sunny was arrested this week for threatening to kill her partner with a pair of scissors. So continuing on her list of list of
Why
credentials
why
since
am I
she's
laughing
been
at that, bro?
gone from WWE. PW Insider reports that 2 new names have been added to the Women's Royal Rumble match. According to the report, Melina and Cameron will both be surprise appearances in the match. Melina has been working with MLW as of late, while Cameron, under her real name Arian Andrews, has worked on music and made an appearance for AEW in 2020. So should be interesting to have a couple of more ladies back with us. Speaking of ladies that are back for the Royal Rumble, AEW news has about Lita. Lita made her SmackDown return last night, as we talked about earlier, but a new report notes that she was previously in talks with AEW. Fightful Select reports that the WWE Hall of Famer has been in talks with AEW with a pitch for a top program with Britt Baker, with a creative plan discussed for potentially happening at last year's All Out pay-per-view. According to the report, AEW initially reached out to Lita last year for an appearance on a show, and they were unable to come to terms. The pitch was for the Britt Baker program, which obviously didn't end up happening. However, the report notes that things ended positively, and there could have eventually be some sort of business between Lita and AEW. The site adds that according to people in WWE, Lita is off the no contact list due to her last injuries and has been cleared to compete for more than 4 years. Andrew, what do you think about Lita potentially coming to AEW?
I fear for Lita being on a Michael Britt Baker, because I can only imagine some of the shit that Britt was going to say. Oh my goodness, bro! It would have been a tragic night. It would have definitely been a tragic night, because I think Britt would have let the clip off on her, bro. It'd have been ridiculous. Like, but I mean, like I think it could have been something fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, hey, it's publicly known at this point that Edge had the opportunity to go to AEW.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I can only imagine what Edge will be doing right now in AEW. Like, I really don't think it's out of the question to think that he'll probably be world champion. Like, I don't think that shit is like that far stretched. Like, especially at this point where we are now in 2022.
I would think I think it would be AEW World Tag Team Champion.
World Tag Team. Yeah. There you go. So I definitely think he'll be a champion in AEW by now. But yeah, Lita and Britt could have been that could have been something. You know, I think that would have brought a lot of eyes over to AEW and sort of allow for the talent in that division to learn from somebody who has been there and done that. So yeah, I think it could have been a positive thing. That of course it added more credibility to Britt. So you know, you got a win-win right there. You went in there and brought in somebody who's an established Hall of Famer under WWE's banner, and then you got somebody on the up and up like Britt, and then Britt get that rub, and then continues her growth, and you know. But that's why I think, because it wasn't happening with Lita, that spot is going to be Mickie James's. So I think Mickie James is going to be brought in to help Britt, you know, get over the hump once Mickie loses the Knockouts title to whoever she loses it to. Probably Tasha. Still. Probably might not
I think Tasha.
Deanna. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Talking about other AEW stars, a couple of the contracts were coming up, especially according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, specifically for guys like the Bucks, Cody and Brandy Rhodes, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho, and more. They would have had their deals expired by now, but they're still showing up on TV. A couple of the contracts have been extended, such as Tony Schiavone, who announced this week that he signed a 2-year extension with Page, Brandy, and Jericho. They have not yet commented on their contract status, but have been on TV multiple times, so they have likely re-signed. And Kenny Omega has signed a 4-year deal back in 2019, so his deal is not up until February 2023. And speaking of Omega, he was the winner of the 2021 Wrestler of the Year award for PWI Awards. It was part of a dominating year for AEW, with Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa winning the match of the year. Baker winning It's PWI. That ain't something to be about. It's kayfabe central. Baker winning the Women's Wrestler of the Year. MJF Most Hated Wrestler. MJF versus Jericho Rivalry of the Year. Inner Circle Faction of the Year. And CM Punk winning Comeback and Most Popular Wrestler of the Year. I didn't hear to Inner Circle being Faction of the Year.
I was gonna say MJF Jericho Feud of the Year. What?
Where's the Wait, they got the match of the year right, according to you. So you should be to everything else too.
They got the Wrestler of the Year right too.
After his appearance on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, AEW has announced that Brody King has signed with the company and is all elite, and he will be making his debut on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday, teaming up with Malachi Black against the Varsity Blondes. King quietly signed with AEW once he was done with his ROH commitments, according to PW Insider, but AEW waited until his debut to announce it officially. And speaking of contracts and AEW stars, WrestleVotes confirmed that WWE will be extremely interested in luring Wardlow away from AEW when his contract is due. And there are several people within WWE that love his potential. Andrew, what do you think about Wardlow in WWE?
I don't think there's no merit to it. I don't think Wardlow going nowhere. I think he would be smart to, play with it and, get when people ask him about it in interviews, entertain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I mean, when you think about what talents they're be looking for, Wardlow kind of falls in line. And I mean, if they throw him a nice, a nice piece of change at him, then I think he got some options to consider. Like, I think AEW is so top heavy right now, bro, and I think they will continue to be top heavy because, like, I think that you're gonna have people like Keith Lee, Swerve. You have people like that rolling in. Like, I think Gargano's going to be there. To be honest with you, like I think AEW
sign Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor, please come on.
But I feel like AEW is about to be like really top heavy for like the next couple years, and like maybe Wardlow maybe has expectations for himself that that necessarily aren't in line with what AEW has for him at this moment. So I mean, if it worked to a point where WWE was like, "Hey man, we'll come in and we'll push you right off the break," like you'd be one of our top guys, and we sort of looking for guys like you anyway. You compare somebody like him to Braun Breaker, they looking for guys like Wardlow. So I mean, yeah. If it was like something legit, bro, if he had that option, like I think he has something to consider because I mean, you could stay in AEW and he'll probably be booked, really well, and it'll probably be like TNT champion or something. Or you go to WWE and you look at their business right now and what they're looking for in talents, like he kind of fall more in line with as far as like what WWE looking for. So it's I think that's a very interesting conversation, bro. And I think Wardlow, he definitely gonna have some choice. Like I know people like with MJF doing this whole thing about his free agency in 2024. I think MJF just fucking around. Like he ain't leaving. But I think Wardlow, like when you really think about it, and like I said, when you look at what WWE is looking for, bro, like I think Wardlow probably got more of a chance to go to WWE and leaving than MJ. I think WWE want MJF just for the, hey, we got one of AEW's guys. But I feel like with Wardlow, it's like, oh, we actually like want him type thing. Like
he could be a WWE guy now.
Yeah, he could be a WWE guy. Like, not for real. Like seriously though, like I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you don't need to convince Vince. You have to convince Vince about MJF. You don't need to about Wardlow. He'll see him and he'll start pulling out the lotion, pulling out his he's getting the business. The final AEW news in a post on Twitter, Hikaru Shida confirmed that she will be returning to Japan for a little while after the post-match angle with Serena Deeb taking her out with a kendo stick. So it seems like AEW is going to be without their longest reigning AEW Women's World Champion for a little while. Actually, the last AEW news, Mark Henry revealed in an interview with Danny Ocean that the AEW has plans to release a hip-hop compilation for Black History Month with AEW.
Red, man. Shout out to
Red. Will Washington's going to be working on that as well. So producer Mikey Ruckus put out further details about everyone that's going to be included, superstars as well as those from content creators. So very good project here on the way from AEW. A couple of comments to highlight here in the live chat. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Annika Wilson saying, "Man, I would be pissed if Bianca going against Becky and loses again. If it happens at WrestleMania, I don't see it happening. I don't see her losing. I think she is gonna win there. I just don't want it to happen because it makes it be able for WWE to say, "Oh, this was the plan all along," when we know it was not the plan when Bianca Belair lost at SummerSlam in 26 seconds. Fuck out.
We'll see how Vince feels that morning when he wakes up.
Might change. It might change.
That's funny because that's so true though. That's what's hilarious about it.
Gunnar Becker saying the WrestleMania Chamber sounds like a Pritchard idea. We also got Alan Weinstein who says fuck Saudi shows. He's adding that to his list. Like what the roulette cages of hells. That's the name. That's the name to change WrestleMania Chamber to.
Sound like a TNA pay-per-view.
Vala B says Tammy been drinking the Terrence Kool-Aid. We also got Frantic World saying, and Matt is in AEW too. Britt Baker promo would be fire against Lita. Yes, absolutely. With her using the Twist of Fate last night, that's the first thing I thought. Yeah. I was like, is she still allowed to use the Twist of Fate?
What the hell? You like something else?
That's a good point that Vala just mentioned. That Warlow had did an interview. He said he was an AEW lifer, but like at the same time, bro, I think a lot of people say a lot of different stuff, but like when you got an opportunity presented at you and it's like, hey, we'll throw you this much if you come here and we'll promise you this. Like
you gotta at least see what they're offering.
Exactly, bro. You in any businesses, but I don't care how loyal you are, you would be a fool to not at least listen to the opportunity. Like if it's like essentially like, of course, if you just know it's just like completely bad for you, then of course you ignore it. But like it's just certain stuff, bro. Like you at least gotta listen. Like you can't just like outright just be like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? At least even if you know within yourself that you're not going to take it, you would be a fool not to at least go listen to that opportunity, bro, and see what they offering you. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was a smart thing of Wardlow to say. Like he's still under contract. Yes, he's kissing up to the boss. Like, hey, push me. I'm a life.
That see, I think you had a good point. That is a smart thing to say. Like you can't be coming out there and be like, oh well, you know, I would go to WWE.
Like MJF.
MJF got enough behind him to be able to say that. Warlow don't. Annika says AEW do need to find better ways to make their big dudes shine more. Yeah, I mean that's the reason why a lot of people don't think this Lance Archer match is leading to a title match at a pay-per-view, because that's what they do with Lance Archer. They heat him up to lose big matches. That's what they always do, and they seem to be doing that with like the Brian Cages, the Powerhouse Hobbs, and it's disappointing. We also, they also got CM saying a rap album during Black History Month. Yeah, you want us to feature Black Stars more? We got a whole hip hop mixtape for you.
But like, see, the thing about that is like, I'm see for most of that, I'm also happy for Reg and Will. They had that opportunity, and I know I saw it. Reg had said they had been in the works for months now, so for a while now. So like, I'm happy for them. Like as far as the rap album or Black History Month, I think that's just people having different perspectives. But like regardless of that, whatever optics of it is, bro, I'm happy for them, bro. Like that's
absolutely
right there.
Absolutely, and anything to like, even for the wrestlers, another way to express themselves is great. We got New Japan Pro Wrestling news in a post on Twitter. Hiroshi Tanahashi confirmed he signed a new deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Shocker.
He said, I have renewed my contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'll do my best. I'm pretty sure Hiroshi Tanahashi will die in the ring, or his funeral will at least happen in the ring. Like he's definitely. I'm just saying he's never gonna leave the wrestling. This man's gonna be like 60 doing the high fly flow.
Andrew, his match at Wrestle Kingdom is must see versus Kenta.
It was that good for real.
Oh my! It's just insane. It's just literally. I've never seen a match where someone builds a ladder and someone almost dies. So,
hey, let me ask y'all something real quick on Tanahashi. Like, when do y'all think, or do you ever think it'll be a point when they start treating him like Manabu Nakanishi and Yuji Nagata, and he starts being in the tag, open the tag? Or do you think Tanahashi will forever be like in his current spot? Like, do you think they'll ever relegate him to being like that, sort of like the old man in the 6-man tags to start off the shows? Do you think that will ever be a point?
I think eventually,
or do you think Tanahashi would even retire before he even let shit get to that point?
Yeah, that I do think that if he gets to that point, it ain't gonna last long because he'll probably retire. But I think he's been so big in New Japan Pro Wrestling that a step down for him would be like what he's been doing over the last year. Never open weight, U.S. titles. Like, this is a step down from where he was. So I don't see him going down too far down the card like the New Japan dads. I just don't see it. Speaking of New Japan, they announced that there will be a New Japan Strong taping at WrestleCon weekend during WrestleMania weekend in Dallas on April 1st. They also have announced a New Year's Golden Series, which will start in January, and they have a couple of big shows in February on the 19th and 20th. The 19th show will be headlined by Hiroshi Tanahashi defending the United States Heavyweight Championship against Sonata in the main event. In order for Chaos to get a shot at the never openweight six-man tag team titles, they have to defend their titles against the House of Torture, the IWGP tag team titles of Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto against Evil and Yujiro Takahashi on the February 19th show. And it also has Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles versus Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo. Yes, that is Kenta, Andrew. That is Kenta with his unique hair and nose. And then February 20th.
The future, his nose getting messed up. I foresaw it.
You did. February 20th. Newly crowned IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada will defend against Tetsuya Naito in the main event. There's also going to be Minoru Suzuki defending his KOPW 2022 trophy against Toru Yano, and the never openweight six-man tag team titles of House of Torture versus Chaos will happen on that show as well. Impact Wrestling news, speaking of New Japan, they announced that the Gorillas of Destiny and Jay White of the Bullet Club will be appearing in Impact Wrestling in January on the 21st and 22nd in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So the Bullet Club will be making their presence known even more in Impact Wrestling. And former WWE commentator Tom Phillips, now going by his real name Tom Hannafin, officially signed with Impact Wrestling ahead of Hard to Kill. He also spoke with Renee Paquette on this week's Oral Sessions. He said about his Impact deal coming together, it's only really developed within the last month. I have a lot of friends in Impact Wrestling who kind of connected me with the powers that be. We had some good conversations and the schedule was very attractive. I just got done doing a 52-week a year schedule for about 9 years. So I was like, this is great and really cool. So he seems to be very happy with the deal that he made. So maybe more people that have been released from WWE will be coming, as Tommy Dreamer revealed on Thursday's Busted Open Radio that he heard Rico had been released, so he immediately messaged him and offered him a role in Impact Wrestling. He said, and I quote, if you look at management and you look at it, let's say the New York Giants, their GM is retiring, and then there goes the head coach that he picked. There goes everyone associated with that person. Triple H is no longer in charge, and everyone associated with him is gone. The only guy who remained is Shawn Michaels, but Shawn was a Vince guy before he was a Triple H guy. Regal, the moment I heard he was let go, I shot him a text and said, if you want to be a commentator at Impact, if you want to be a general manager figure, just let me know. He will have something whenever he chooses to. Romeo, do you think William Regal will consider Impact Wrestling?
I think he'll listen to what they have to say, but I don't know if he'll go there.
Yeah.
Could you see Regal in AEW, Andrew?
Definitely. I can see him like taking on a backstage role. You know, I think Regal has just a wealth of knowledge that can be used like anywhere professional wrestling. Like I can even see Regal going along the lines of like wanting to like help out the independent promotion here and there. Like I think Regal just has so much knowledge and so much experience, bro. Like he can literally be used anywhere. So I think him being an asset to any company is like the most likely thing. Or maybe Regal just be like, you know what, bro, I done lived a whole full life in professional wrestling. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to chill out and enjoy the rest of my life. Like I can see him going either one, and I think it'll work out for him either way. But I definitely think it's gonna be more the wrestling thing because Regal is like, bro, he has too much knowledge, bro. Like it's so yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. The final Impact Wrestling news, PCO has officially signed with Impact Wrestling, according to Pat LaPrade. And in our final wrestling note,
Time out. Real quick. How is Too Cold Scorpio not signed? Like I like PCO. I really do. How is Too Cold not signed, bro? At this point, how is Too Cold Scorpio not signed? Like that man can still do half the stuff that he did. It's a big question mark. I always wanted to have Too Cold's not signed yet. And that ain't no like I'm happy for PCO. I ain't gonna never hate on nobody had no contract. I'm just saying I think Too Cold should be signed at this point. I really do. If PCO still out here getting deals, then I think Too Cold can still be out here getting a deal. So Impact calling you out. sign to Cold Scorpio. There you go. Give him like
That
A
is
match
together.
tonight against Jonathan Gresham.
Get it together, Impact. Two Cold Scorpios right there for the taking. Final wrestling note. It is actually about GCW. They have announced that Jon Moxley will be making his return to the ring later this month. He will defend the GCW World Championship against Homicide at the World on GCW on January 23rd at the Hammerstein Ballroom. And I will be there along with Baby Seth and a couple of the Tru Heel Heat community live at Hammerstein Ballroom. So can't wait. But we're going to close out this episode of Tru Heel Heat with predictions. Who will walk through the Forbidden Door next? As we said earlier in the show, WrestleVotes came out with the report that WWE is trying to lure an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant into the Men's Royal Rumble this year. So I will start with you, Andrew Thompson. Who is your predictions or a couple of names that you think could walk through the Forbidden Door next and show up in the Men's Royal Rumble?
I'm gonna go with either Moose, Kenta, Nick Aldis. I'm gonna say a big one just for the sake of saying a big name. I'm gonna say Danielson just because of the way he ended his terms with WWE and he wrote that nice players
Daniel
tribune
Bryan,
article.
pal.
Daniel Bryan, pal. but yeah, I'm gonna say Danielson just off the strength for him. Just because of the way he ended with the company, so I can definitely see that being some. Chris Jericho. I'm gonna roll with those. I'm gonna say those. But I think, but not Kenta Consensus hurt, so I'm gonna rule him out. Yeah, but like for my definitive pick, I say Kenta, but I have remember he was hurt. So yeah, I don't think you could do that. But for my definitive pick, like just to choose one, I'm gonna say Jericho.
Chris Jericho, that is a big pick right there. Romeo, what's your prediction? What's some names you think could walk through the WWE's Forbidden Door?
By the way, I asked you guys in the chat which company you think someone will enter the Rumble. 67% of you are saying Impact, 25% of you are saying AEW, 8% of you are saying other. I think there's a wise quote in a movie that just came out. It says, "Expect disappointment and you won't be disappointed." So, with that being said, I think you'll see Rhino, Heath Slater possibly, Matt Cardona, Zach Ryder, that stupid song.
That's one. Yeah.
W. Morrissey also an option. I don't think it's going to be anyone from AEW, but if it were, Chris Jericho, as mentioned, Daniel Bryan, but you're looking more likely at Sean Spears, like Ty Dillinger or something.
Ty Dillinger.
Who I would like to see, besides the obvious, a better AEW name, I think Impact Wrestling. I'd like to see the Impact champion, Moose. In reverse, if there was ever like an agreement where WWE will send somebody to like Impact Wrestling or something, I'd like to see like AJ Styles, and I'd like to see a match with AJ Styles and Josh Alexander. How fun would that be?
That would be awesome. AJ Styles versus Ace Austin. Give me that all day and twice on Tuesday. I would love to see Robert Roode back in Impact Wrestling. But we're talking about the WWE Forbidden Door, who can show up at the Men's Royal Rumble. If we're talking about AEW, I got to throw out some of the big names. Like Bryan Danielson is, of course, an option. I just don't think, WWE would want to put themselves into that hole. They got plans for Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. If Bryan Danielson shows up, it's going to become a triple threat because that's what he does.
He's here to win.
That's what he does, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Jericho is a very likely name if it's anyone from AEW. The best name that they could get from AEW, though, we saw him a lot on SmackDown last night, and the main event at Royal Rumble is two Shield members. So how about Jon Moxley makes history? He shows up at Hammerstein Ballroom for GCW, beats Homicide. He returns to AEW at Beach Break in Cleveland, and then he finishes off the week at the Royal Rumble, shows up, does a little Shield bump with Seth and Roman, and then comes out as the number one entrant in the Royal Rumble. That's the person that it writes itself, and WWE would do it. But if you're thinking about
they knew you was Dean Ambrose, pal.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about Impact Wrestling, the ones that make sense, of course, W. Morrissey's out there, Matt Cardona, but not too many people have been saying my definitive pick here It fits what WWE always does. They love them the nostalgia pop. If they're working with Impact Wrestling, there's one name that could potentially be in the Royal Rumble and then be in the WWE Hall of Fame in April. And I'm talking about the real deal now. D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown is right there. Nostalgia pop. He's from Impact Wrestling. He could be in the Royal Rumble. D'Lo Brown is going to walk through the forbidden door and be in the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble match.
Expect disappointment, and you won't be disappointed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm good. I'm good at this. But that brings us to a close on this edition of Tru Heel Heat. I want to thank my esteemed colleague here, Romeo, for joining us, and of course our special guest, Andrew Thompson of Post Wrestling. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media, sir.
They can find me on Twitter at @ADThompson__. My written work over at Post Wrestling. I just dropped the interview literally before we came on the air. I dropped the interview with Black G's. And that's up on my YouTube channel now. Real good discussion with him. And I want everybody to go subscribe to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Subscribe to their Patreon. Give them all your monies, like how Dan Housen says. Give them all your monies.
Thank you, good brother. We always appreciate having you on. And of course, we're going to get you back on once again, especially when Top Guy JJ can be here the whole show.
I want to be on for one of your guys' quiz shows or like one of your like ranking shows that you do. I want to like the list. That's the next time I come on. I want to be on one of those because those seem like those are fun as hell. Like I gotta be on one of those. I got to. I'm with it.
We're gonna make that happen. Romeo, where can the people find you, sir?
Tru Heel Romeo on Twitter and Instagram. Check out our SmackDown review on the Teddy Turnbuckle YouTube channel. Check out Rated Raw Superstars every Monday. This week it'll be on Tuesday. I want to watch the NFL playoffs. Check out NX3 every Tuesday night. And watch-alongs. What'll be our next watch-along? We might do a GCW watch-along next weekend.
Nice.
Also, I'll be on Fightful next Saturday for Fight Night with Steven Jensen for UFC 270. Nagano versus Gain. Looking forward to that.
Look at that. Tru Heel Heat going everywhere. Teddy Turnbuckle YouTube channel, Fightful, highlighting a couple of your comments before we sign out. Shout out to DJ Duke joining us in the live chat, and everyone, Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Damian Hernandez. Thank you all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all. CM. Annika, yes, Made Cardona. Absolutely. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Check out the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel with myself and Rick Ucchino. 4 podcasts a week reviewing Raw, NXT, AEW, and SmackDown. So check it out over the weekend. Next episode on Sunday. Sports Keto Wrestling YouTube channel with Rick and Dutch Mantel. Last night with Dutch Mantel reviewing SmackDown and Rampage. And then right back here, Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Like this video. Share it with your friends. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought about the latest wrestling news. And of course, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat for even more Tru Heel Heat content. Myself, Romeo, we need to do our Okada Omega watch along, so that's coming soon to the Patreon as well. So for our special guest Andrew Thompson, for Romeo, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 158. Once forbidden, no more. We are signing off until next time.